hopefully this doesn't lag when I get. What is going on, guys, and welcome to the third episode of the Nintendo Nite podcast. I'm joined today by some awesome people, and we're going to be discussing all of the news that has happened for Nintendo in the month of July. But let me introduce to you guys the people that we have here today. We've got Mr. Endgame the Cube.
Hey guys, what's up? Let's talk some Nintendo.
We've got Ruffle Rowlet.
Hello.
And we've got Sylph Spectre, who's going to be filling in for Pokéraf here, as Pokéraf is in Spain, but I think we all know why. He said he's just going for vacation, but I think he's just getting some info on Gen 8, and that's pretty much the reason why.
Oh.
But yeah, we've got Sylph Spectre here as well, and I'm going to be honest, guys, we haven't had a ton of information that's happened this month. Nothing crazy has happened in terms of news, where like there's a bunch of stuff here to discuss, but there is a few things here that I think will be pretty interesting to talk about. Basically, if we want this episode to be long, we're pretty much just going to have to rely on good questions from the chat. But the first thing, of course, though, is we did get some new information on Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. They dropped a new trailer where they talked about like Brock and Misty and showed some hairstyles and stuff like that. So what do you guys think of that?
I'll let Ruffle Rowlet go first.
Oh, me? Really? Great. Beautiful. Okay, so the trailers dropped. No, straight up. Like, as I remember, the trailers were dropping, and I was in Gothenburg and getting passports for my siblings. Either way, that's besides the point. I remember them dropping, and I was just like super confused because I just remember seeing like Misty out of nowhere, and I was just like, "Damn, boy! Like that looked good. That shit looked good." Like that actually made me happy and excited for these games slightly. But then, of course, we had other stuff also popping up in those trailers, like for example the customizations on the trainers, which was nice to see because there was a lot of speculation if like there actually was going to be customizations on trainers. We had the hairstyles and whatnot for Eevee, some of the really weird ones, and legendary battles. By the way, awesome. That shit is fantastic. I just don't get why battles in general from Pokemon were removed. I just feel like that was a just unnecessary thing because seeing the battles against the legendaries just makes me like, God damn, I wish I could battle like every Pokemon like this, but it's like, oh, well, can't really do that. But then you also had Team Rocket, which is great. Like we had Jesse and James as well. I'm not sure if they showed up in that specific trailer, but got Jesse, James, Meowth, awesome. In general, it actually looked awesome now, like seeing that trailer, kind of showing extra stuff and things we haven't seen already, or seen yet, so to say. And also the new rideable Pokemon like Arcanine was fantastic.
Yeah, the interesting thing with the legendaries was the backgrounds. I saw like the power plant in the background of the Zapdos battle. Oh man, the backgrounds of the battles look amazing. And then Brock and Misty's designs, I really, really like them. Probably my favorite of the two characters that I've seen in the franchise thus far.
What about you, Endgame?
One thing that actually stood out to me, like other than the obvious, which was awesome with like seeing Brock and Misty and like all the new scenery and everything that we haven't seen before. The legendary battles like actually being confirmed too, which is good to know since that's like with the wild battles that's fine in my opinion like to not have, but if you can't battle the legendary Pokemon, it really does take something away. So it's good to have that back. But I don't know if you guys noticed, but at like the trailer, there was this part where like there were 3 Pokeballs, which was weird because like there's only Pikachu and Eevee, and like your rival picks one or the other.
Oh, true.
Oh, yeah,
But like there's this theory going around that that it's the 3rd Pokeball is for Professor Oak, and you get to face him in the game. Oh my God, I'm gonna.
It definitely is. It is. It is though. It is because if you look through the whole interview with Masuda, which I don't know if you guys read all the stuff, because it's a pretty long interview, but he specifically said, I think somewhere towards the end of it, he's asked by the interviewer from Mitsu, specifically asking him, okay, so we saw 3 Pokeballs, or rather, no, sorry, they were asking about the Pokedex, not the Pokeballs. He was asking about the Pokedex, and he was asking, okay, so like, how are we going to be able to catch like Alolan Pokemon and all that stuff? What will you get for completing the Pokedex? That was like the general question. And then Masuda's just like, oh, to catch Alolan Pokemon, you will have to transfer them from Pokemon Go. And he was just laughing and like, there is one more way you can do it. And I think most Pokemon fans are used to it, which I assume he's pointing at, oh, go to GameStop again to get a freaking, code for it. I would assume, because that's the only other way I can think of to receive a Pokemon, outside of catching it. Because he said there will be no way to catch a Alolan Pokemon in Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. You would have to transfer them from Pokemon Go, or this other option, which obviously would be, go to GameStop. But besides that, he said one specific thing, and that was about the Pokedex, and it was, after you complete the Pokedex, you will, it will be worth it for people to complete the Pokedex because there will be a reward at the end.
You'll get a diploma.
Yes, sir. But I think that's what he meant because I assumed that because the thing is, when you look at the trailer, as you guys also did, it's obvious that like there are 3 Pokeballs there, and those are not like Bulbasaur, and whatnot and all that stuff. Yeah. Based on assumption, one of those is Pikachu or Eevee. That's the one you get, and then of course, vice versa for your rival. And then the 3rd one is this brand new Pokemon, which you will receive once you've completed the Pokedex. Most likely, and that's what I assume is going to be the way they do it, just straight up. But yeah,
I'm just excited that legendary battles look like they're probably gonna happen, so that's good. Because it would have sucked if you had like such an amazing cutscene like at Power Plant or something like that with Zapdos, and then you just endlessly chuck Pokeballs like Pokemon Go.
What I'm really interested to see is the actual like mechanics behind the legendary battles. If it's gonna be the same as like the regular video games where you kind of weaken it, like because we don't know how battling wild Pokemon doesn't exist in this game. So how is that going to work for the legendaries? I'm wondering if it's going to be similar to Pokemon Go where you have to actually like full on defeat the legendary, which might take like your whole team, like maybe they're super high powered or something like that.
Yeah, some people were
be interesting to see.
Yeah, that it could be something like that. Some people were trying to say that.
Yeah, like a raid.
Like a raid.
Right.
Yeah, like more of like a boss battle kind of thing. Because in the past, legendaries have just been somewhat stronger Pokemon that you just weaken down, similar to all others. But like an actual really tough boss battle would be really cool.
That actually would be awesome. But considering the games have been getting kind of like lamer and lamer in terms of difficulty, it's just been getting easier and easier. Not lamer and lamer. It's just been getting easier and easier. So potentially being able to catch legendary Pokemon, but having to actually fight your way through them, what I mean? Actually get them would be awesome. There is also the Slim, and I'm saying Slim specifically because it's very slim that would happen. And it's just me kind of like, overthinking it, that you wouldn't be able to catch the legendaries after you defeat them, or like, you can just defeat them and that's kind of the end of it. That's what I was kind of thinking that would be maybe a thing, but I don't think it's even close to likely.
Yeah, I'd be happy as long as some type of battles are in there, then that's fine. But yeah, let me see what else they talked about. How do you feel about like the hairstyle thing? It's all right. It's kind of creepy though when I saw it.
Yeah, trainer customization I'm happy is back for sure. I kind of want to know the extent to which it goes though, like how many outfits there are and all that kind of stuff, because I really loved X and Y for that reason. The trainer customization was really awesome. The Pokemon things, I've never been into any, like, the what's it called in X and Y, all those like little Pokemon mini games where you like give treats to your Pokemon and all that. I've never been one for that really, and I feel like the hairstyles and all that kind of delves into that a bit. But trainer customization, I'm super excited for.
I think you're.
I like the aesthetics.
All right, yeah. Someone told me to turn up my mic volume. I'm gonna try doing that.
Okay. No, but I want to say something real quick though about that what you just mentioned, Endgame, because you're right there in that regard. That like, because I will agree, I'm not too big of a fan of the whole like taking photos in Sun and Moon, like petting your Pokemon. I'm not really gonna care about any of that when I play Let's Go Beach, Let's Go Eevee either. I mean, sure, I may equip like an outfit for my character, but based on what we've seen from the trailer, it seems like the customization will just be kind of like think like Fortnite skins, but like just the main skin itself. If you even know what I'm referring to, like you're gonna be getting the skins as the full body outfit. Like you're not gonna be buying getting a separate shirt from separate pants from separate hat. It's all just kind of a set outfit.
That's what it looks like, yeah.
And I think the reason for that is because they do that specifically because the only way for you to actually equip outfits on, like, the thing is, when you equip something on your character, your Pokemon matches your, like, assigned, or the Pokemon you, the assigned Pokemon you get, which is your starter Pokemon, gets the same outfit on it. So because of that, they probably will make it impossible for you to actually, like, have, for example, a white shirt, but then, like, cargo pants or some shit. You can't do that because it's just, like, sets of outfits, so to say, which is kind of lame in a sense because we've seen better customizations now in, like, Sun and Moon had pretty awesome customization for characters and stuff. And it's just kind of, like, a bit of backtracking, I feel like. It's just like, oh, cool, we give you a bunch of shit, but we'll just take it away now.
It's especially weird. Yeah, it's especially weird because Pokemon Go has customization of, like, actual pieces of the outfit. Right, which you'd think would carry over, but I guess not.
Yeah, and also I feel like Pokemon Go has better like actual human characters, like the models themselves. Just like feel to me like they feel more realistic to like the average like Pokemon player. That's like like for example, as like if I was to get a character that looks like me, it probably would be similar more to like the one in Pokemon Go rather than the one you'd get in like Let's Go Beach or Let's Go Eevee that's like 10. But I guess it's also to do with like it's targeted for children and all that stuff. But yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, and I wonder also how you're going to get the outfits. Like, it's going to be unlockable. You have to do a certain quest or something like that, or if it's just available from the start.
Or you have to like buy them or something.
Because that's one thing I really like that about X and Y, where you go out to all the different shops and there's different prices and all that kind of stuff. I mean, they could come up with a better method than just buying them, but I don't know. I kind of like the unlockable feature of it.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be like a really complex way to get them. I think it'll be pretty simple.
Or you just even get them like bare bones, just like, hey, here's all of them.
Could also like maybe it's just like some part in the story where it's just given to you, like, oh, you beat LT, or you beat Lieutenant Surge, here's the outfit or something like that.
Yeah, in the trailer, does anybody remember? I don't remember myself. How many like options there were when they were switching through them or anything like that?
I think
3 or so.
Cerebi. No, there's more. I think there's about 5. I think because I think Cerebi actually did a full listing on all of them. I'm gonna see if I can pop on there real quick. But they listed like about I think 4 or 5 outfits in total that you can have. There was like that sailor one, the cargo looking one,
the safari one.
The safari one, yeah, and there was like I know there was one more, but I just can't remember off the top of my head. Just can't remember it. But I don't know. It just feels like if that's all we get, if that's the only outfits you can have, it would be kind of lame.
I mean, I'm just happy that there's some type of customization because I really thought they were just going to try to keep it similar to Yellow, and because it wasn't in Yellow, that was going to be like their excuse.
Yeah, like they did Auras.
Yeah, because that's what their excuse was in Auras. They were like, oh, it wasn't in the original Ruby and Sapphire, so we didn't put it
here. Yeah, I'm happy there's something. Something at least.
All right, well, yeah.
I like the idea of customizing your Pokemon too, honestly. I know you guys know. But it's like cool. It kind of like adds a little extra.
All right. Well, the next, I guess, important thing here that we can talk about was they did an interview with Mr. Masuda talking about like Pokemon Let's Go as well as like the 2019 game. And the one thing, like I just picked out some of the important things that were mentioned. So the first thing was he was talking about why they had such like a cute and cuddly type of art style in Pokemon Let's Go instead of a realistic one that I think some people were really like expecting. And he was talking about in the interview like how they pictured a kid playing the game and his mom was watching it and they didn't want the mom to think it was like too violent.
That was so funny.
Yeah. Like, what do you think about that? Because I really feel like he was kind of stretching it a little bit there.
I don't think that really matters.
It's so stupid.
Like 10-year-old, it's so messed up though. But like 10-year-olds, like get to play anything now. Like they'll play Call of Duty and like all these horrible, violent games. I don't think most parents care. But I don't know. Like I think it suits like the style that they're trying to go for. So I don't really care that it's cartoony. But hopefully Gen 8 will get something like prettier and also like maybe more.
Well, they said it's supposed to look better in Gen 8, so
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Well,
I have no problem.
Was that confirmed?
yeah, the president said it. Ishihara.
Okay. Well, I mean, didn't he say that like it's gonna be more familiar rather than he didn't actually because I've read all the stuff that he said, and I think as far as I understood, he just said like it will be a like the handheld experience that you've had in the past. It will just be like
Yeah,
the things
that.
you've had in like X and Y. Yeah. So
And
he never really claimed the graphics would be better, so
No,
we
he
don't
also
even know.
said there's
Like,
improved graphics.
what did he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
if I find the quote,
Uh-huh.
I'll put it up on your screen. But let me see.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the term was something like improved graphics along the line.
Oh yeah,
of
shit,
the
you're right.
handheld.
Yeah, thank you. See, I just
got
forgot
you.
about.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
no, but I don't know. Like, I love Masuda, but like my man, that interview was a back and forth. So the biggest thing that I want to bring up, because I mentioned it in my like 41-minute like breakdown of that whole like interview, was when he mentioned like, oh, not every kid has a phone. And a lot of people gave me backlash saying like, "Oh, you privileged, blah 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 blah, have a phone, whatever."
I mean, it
The
is
thing
true
is,
to
though,
an extent. Like, not everyone
thing-
does have a phone.
No, that's obvious, true. But the thing is, I was using my experience of where I live, and I specifically said, like in Sweden, when I like check out, like literally on the fucking street, any freaking 7-year-old walks around with a phone. Like it's just a common. It's like a commonality because everybody kind of has it. I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm privileged. Oh, look at me, high society. No, I live in a tiny apartment with like 7 people. Like I'm not privileged or any shit like that. It's just that phones are really easily accessible here. They give iPads. They don't give them, but like they loan iPads in school to children, to use for education and shit. But they just sit and play like, freaking watch YouTube videos on them. Like, my point is, like when I saw that, I was just like, nah, this is stupid. Like people have phones nowadays. Like people just, kids. It's just becoming a normality to see people like all over the place have phones. Didn't like say that everybody has it. Just that it's way more common. And this idea that like, oh, they don't have phones, but they can buy a Switch though. That they can do, but they can't have a phone. I don't know. It just sounded weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't like how he said like that they didn't want the games to look too violent, and I literally said in my video, like, if kids ever watch the Pokemon anime, it gets kind of violent at some points. Like I was talking about how there was one spot where like you could see a Squirtle biting a Charmander, and if kids are able to watch scenes like that, then why do they have to like not be able to see something like that in game?
I think I know what's going on. I think he kind of like the timing of everything they were doing was a little bit screwed up. Because here's the thing, right? I think there's a little bit of a connection between the Sun and Moon anime, if you look at it and like how it's made and what it looks like and all that stuff, and then compare it to these Let's Go games. I think the plan for them was to kind of just like reinvent Pokemon into just being even more child friendly than it already is, because they had the X and Y anime, right, which was kind of like, in my opinion, one of the best seasons ever of like the Pokemon anime.
Oh yeah,
And all of a
it's
sudden-
certainly the most like
Yeah.
mature animation as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then they just went from like that amazingness to just like, oh hey, look, Ash is a retard, quite literally. It's like, and the animation went down and just became more like smudgy and whatnot. It became more childish and stupid, and Ash acted like he was just like he was 5 or some shit. And it's like, okay, so I saw kind of correlation there, because remember, the Let's Go games have been like made for what, like 2 years? That's what it took him to make them. So like, I assume that like their plan was, oh, let's make this like super child friendly so we can just make some quick cash off of like nostalgia and stuff. And I guess the Sun and Moon anime was kind of like supposed to correlate with that. But I think that they're probably backtracking of that, because they specifically pointed out, and I remember this because I read this regarding the Pokemon movie and stuff. They were so disappointed with the Pokemon anime, the Sun and Moon anime. They were so disappointed with it because they felt like there was like some backlash from the fans. I think in Japan people didn't like it much. And it's just overall got a worse reception than X and Y anime and whatnot, and that they just kind of went down this like really super childish route, and that to them was like, oh fuck, we messed up. So they decided like to make the Pokemon movies like as the because they're doing this whole reboot of the movies and stuff, and they're trying to make them more and more serious, and like the animations just being upped and upped. And also next year, I don't know if you guys know this, but next year we're actually getting Mewtwo Strikes Back, like a little like remake, rework, whatever you want to call it, like
that was
like a retelling.
Huge surprise.
Yeah, definitely. But it's like, I think it's like what they wanted to initially do, like what their plan of action was. Let's make it more child friendly. But then they just kind of noticed, fuck, it didn't work in the anime. Will it work for the games? Fuck it, we already have the game made. We'll just have to, just gonna go with it. You know what I mean? Fuck it, let's roll. Because they're not gonna backtrack on it.
Yeah, it seems they're really, really trying to I use the word trying cautiously. they're trying to balance between the new kids who are coming into the series and the old fans. And it seems what they're doing is they're using everything like really cutesy animation, really childish, really hand-holdy, and at the same time appealing to nostalgia, which I don't know if that's the right way to go.
No, of course, Gen 1 sells.
Yeah, exactly. So there's this balance between making everything kind of really immature and then at the same time appealing to nostalgia. So we're going back to Kanto, but it's really, really childish. But I'm just hoping that there would be this sort of like dichotomy between, because I think what they've done, especially with Sun and Moon, is that it was really kind of like a hand-holdy game. And now it seems like they're trying to get rid of the casual element in the hardcore game. So that's why they're separating the two. Now we have Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee for the casual fans, and then they keep saying 2019 is going to be more hardcore. So it seems they're kind of, instead of combining them into one game, they're now separating them, which, I don't know, it's an interesting marketing strategy. I guess we'll just kind of have to see what happens.
Well, they didn't specifically say it was going to be more hardcore. They just kind of said, again, like that it's just going to be
Traditional.
like the traditional
the
handheld
core,
experience.
not like hardcore, but core series.
Yeah. It's just going to be like, because I think they specifically referenced Pokemon X and Y and Sun and Moon. Like, there will be an experience like you've had on the handhelds. That's what 2019 is going to be, which is great, by the way. But at the same time, it's just like, I think the biggest worry, right? This is where the biggest worry is. This is where people that like attack people who aren't happy about Let's Go really just don't understand what the problem is. Like, okay, you could always, like, people always give this argument like, oh, don't buy the game if you don't like it, if you don't think it looks good, whatever. Yeah, you're right. I'm going to say the same thing. Don't buy the game if you don't think it looks good and you don't want it. Don't buy it. That's obvious. But here's the thing that they kind of missed, though. The reason why we're worried, this is why I am worried about, Let's Go Peach, Let's Go Eevee, is that if they sell really good, because they are using nostalgia, let's be fucking honest. Like, that's the only reason these games, if we were to remove the aspect of these games that is the fact that it's Kanto, remove that and try to sell this as a brand new generation, but missing the battling of Pokemon and all this stuff, right?
Not happening.
Sell that to to an audience, to a audience that doesn't know about Pokemon and to an audience that knows Pokemon. We'll kind of be sitting there like, okay, I mean, it's a new generation, cool, but what the fuck's going on? Where is all the stuff that we're used to that kind of should be? It's a Pokemon game. It's like if you take away the guns from Call of Duty, like what the fuck do you do then? It's like it makes. Oh, by the way, surface firing. But it's like, what do you do then if you like? It's just an essential part for me, like battling random Pokemon and whatnot, just battling Pokemon in the wild. And I think the biggest issue is people are just worried that if these games sell really well, that it will affect future Pokemon. Like, we're not worried about 2019. I'm more worried about what happens after 2019. Like, what the hell do we get in 2020, 2021?
Yeah, you have to assume that 2019 they've already got a good grasp on in terms of what they want to do and all that kind of stuff. It's too late to transition now and respond to how you can make minor adjustments, but they can't do like an overthrow of what they've got planned based on how Let's Go does. But I think, Let's Go, I think it seems to be, like, from a marketing perspective, it seems to be kind of a transition and a way to bring in all the Pokemon Go. They probably realized the success of Pokemon Go, and then we're like, okay, we need to adapt this into the main series. Then all the Pokemon Go fans go to the main series, and then upon RPG 2019, then everyone, both the hardcore fans and the casual fans, kind of come together. And I would imagine that's their plan, at least.
Well, that's where I'm worried. Sorry for interrupting if I interrupt anyone. I don't know.
No.
But that's where I'm worried, exactly what you just said, is that's where the problem is. Because if Let's Go sells better than the 2019 games, what would stop,
that would be...
That's where the worry comes in. Because it's like, what would stop them then to be like, hey, we made like 2 million to 3 million more copies sold on like the Let's Go games. Fuck the new gens. Fuck that shit. We make more money from this. Let's make more of these Let's Go games. That's where I'm worried. Like that. That's where my fear comes in.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I guess we'll have
Let's Go Sinnoh.
No, so here's the thing that I wanted to discuss with you guys, because here's how I feel like they might try to do this, where if you guys know, like, Mario games, we've got like 3D Mario games and then we've got 2D Mario games. I feel like that's what they're going to try to do with like Pokemon Let's Go and then the core games, where they have like the core games that people play, and you have the other types of games, the Let's Go games, that are for more casual people, but it's still like the same type of game. Because in Mario games that are 3D and then 2D, you're still doing the same thing. You're still rescuing Peach at the end. You're still going through all these worlds, but it's just two different audiences, like the people who like the 3D game where you jump around and stuff and can do flips, and then the 2D side-scrolling one. I feel like they're just going to try to do something like that, where they just have two different audiences.
When they first announced this, my first reaction was like, okay, this is going to be, well, of course, depending on how it sells, but I think it'll sell pretty well.
Oh yeah, it's gonna sell.
Oh, it already has sold well. Did you?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not sure if you're aware of it, but I think day 2, after the games came out, like to be pre-orderable, they actually were just fully. And I don't know how this is possible, but they were so like there was so many pre-orders on Amazon for the games that they were out of stock for like pre-orders. Like that, you know that like it's gonna sell amazingly if that's happening on day 2 of the games being announced.
Yeah. So what my theory was that again, depending on how these sell, it looks like it's going to do well. Of course, like if they see that this is doing really well, and then they release the main series game, and that does really well. Let's say, for instance, then they might kind of continue this balance where they go a Let's Go game, then the main series game, then a Let's Go game. For instance, I was thinking like they remade Yellow, right? Essentially with this game. What if next time they re-release or remake Crystal, and they remake the remakes for every single generation? And in like 2020, we have Let's Go Togepi and Marill or something like that, and it continues that Pokemon Go trend, because Pokemon Go is not really slowing down. Well, it's slowing down, but it's still an immensely popular game, and they're just releasing gen by gen by gen. So imagine if they kind of alternate between these.
I wouldn't have a problem if they did that with like the third game, I guess, because like we have Yellow, but then we have Fire Red and Leaf Green, and then you've got Heart Gold and Soul Silver, but they do the Let's Go with Crystal, and they basically just do that for like Platinum and like the other third.
Yeah, that's
like the third. But the problem is that would stop after Platinum, because you don't have any more games that are third versions past that point. I mean, you have Black and White 2, and then you have
I know what you mean, yeah.
Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. So, but that's also the problem, because I don't want that. I don't need more. Like, if this is the only Let's Go games we ever get, I'll be satisfied, because I don't need more of these sort of games. Like, I'm fine with this, like a one-time experience, sure, but like I don't want to sacrifice the potential of really cool Pokemon remakes for the sake of this, of Let's Go, right? Because I know people hate Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire because, oh, there's no, there's things missing, whatever. Like Battle Frontier, where is it, blah, blah, blah. I get that, but I still enjoy those games. They had the best shiny hunting out of any Pokemon game, like straight up the best shiny hunting mechanics, so to say. The games were just generally fun. And then you have the best Pokemon games, in my opinion, my personal favorites, Heart Gold, Soul Silver. Amazing remakes, like just the perfect sort of remakes. Yeah. And if I have to sacrifice such an experience for the sake of playing some like, no offense, some shitty like remake, like some sort of like Let's Go game, I would really not be up for that, because I feel like that would just be a shitty replacement just to be able to make these games every 2 years to make quick bucks. I don't know. I ain't feeling that personally.
It's tough. It's definitely tough.
When we were talking about how like the pre-orders were sold out on Amazon, there was one of my followers who tweeted to me on Twitter like a screenshot of a conversation they were having with like an Amazon representative, and they were like, the pre-orders were sold out, so you would have to be put on a list so that you get notified for pre-orders, so you were essentially pre-ordering the pre-order.
Yeah, it's stupid. I'm telling you, the games are gonna sell ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not up for that. Oh man.
But yeah, I mean, I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see what they do with it. I think it's just gonna be a really big success, but I hope that they do decide to do something else with it, maybe.
There was something that I didn't understand with Masuda, though, because I want to bring this up because we are talking about the Masuda interview, right? Still, or are we kind of sidetracking? I'm a bit curious because specifically when it comes to Masuda's interview, like, I don't know, the tone he had about this whole thing, like that, oh, it's supposed to be for like, because I don't know, I feel like he's kind of assuming that every single person that kind of plays Pokemon is just like 5, or like based on like the interview, that's how it sounds. But that just isn't the truth. Like, I mean, if you look at Pokemon, like the competitive scene is growing still, right? There's like, you have different like parts of that. You've got the older generation that play Pokemon. You've got the younger generation that, play the competitive and shit. Like, there's so many aspects, and there's so many different people that play Pokemon, and just being like going down this route of like, hey, if a kid is playing this in their living room, their parents got to know that they're not watching porn, but they're playing a cutesy Pokemon game with cute animals.
And then Misty comes in.
And then Misty comes in with that ass. But like, but also, oh wait, shit. Actually, thank you for mentioning Misty, because it brings me to a point that somebody mentioned this in chat. Actually, I want to bring this up. Somebody said in the chat, "Oh, does this mean that the gyms will be harder?" No.
They are actually
worse.
No. They're easier.
They're actually easier.
The levels were different because I checked it.
Not just that aspect of it. Not just that they're lower levels. It's the fact that like they literally tell you what you need to do to easier win the battles. Oh, hey, you want to defeat Brock? Well, guess what, buddy? To defeat him easier, the only way to take on for you to actually take on this gym is go catch a water type and a grass type because they're strong against him. Go get those, and then you can take on the gym. So I assume for Misty, it's going to be a similar thing. Like, oh, hello there. If you want to take on Misty, I would recommend getting a Pikachu because it's got electric moves. Oh, how great! Like,
Not only recommend, it's required. You better.
It's required. Like, that's the shit that I'm not digging. Like, apparently there's going to be different methods for it. Like, some gyms might be different from others. Like, it doesn't mean like that every gym is going to require a typing thing to it, right? But every gym is going to require a certain thing that you get. Like, for example, it could be like, oh, if you want to take on this gym, go get this TM or go get this HM or something like, oh, I mean, not HM because they're not really a thing anymore, but like, go get these specific things. That's the only way for you to take on the quote unquote gym, so to say. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's so stupid. Like, why casualize the game to the point where it's just like ridiculous? I just didn't get that.
Like, for me, I don't know. I haven't been terribly concerned about it. The one thing that you brought up that I didn't really consider was that if these games are really, really successful and then they try and trend the series towards this. The main thing that I've been trying to be optimistic with it and just saying, okay, this is a balance between casual and not hardcore, but a core series kind of game, right? And if they release these alternating, I'd be okay with that. Again, the actual remakes, like Dominant Pro remakes, where those, I would love to have those, of course. But if they alternate these as a way to get casual and core players into the series and staying with the series, I'd be okay with that. But yeah, if it ends up just outselling the core series or something like that, that would be an area of concern for sure for me.
I was talking about how like easy these games were because the things that we have here, like first of all, the Pikachu and Eevee that you get as your starter are going to have stronger stats than normal Pikachu and Eevee. They're going to learn impossible moves that they can't even get, like double kick, which it can never learn right before Brock to make it easier. They have requirements for you to bring super effective Pokemon before you challenge a gym to help you out. You can battle two Pokemon against one by using your second Joy-Con, and you can get a Mew to use on your journey if you bought the Pokeball. How can you attempt to lose? Like, how can you attempt to lose?
Starting off with a Mew, that's beautiful. But yeah,
thank you, Shelf.
My main thing is that if this is a way to keep the casual out of the core series games, then I'm happy. If we don't have another Sun and Moon experience, because this kind of takes the casual out and puts it into its own game, then I'm happy with that kind of like, I don't know what you call it, process or whatever. But yeah.
Can I get a quick response to the chat there? Because I want to say one quick thing to Lionheart. Here's the thing, right? What he just mentioned specifically about the, like, you can't really avoid then using the Pokemon when they force you to go and get those Pokemon that are going to be easier for you to take on the gym with. You know what I mean? It's kind of just like, okay, so do I intentionally make it harder for myself? Like, I feel like that's just an unnecessary thing. For example, like when you're playing any sort of like, you know, game that has a difficulty setting to it, right? If you pick hard, you've picked hard, right? That's how you play the game. In Pokemon, there is no option like that. So when they intentionally make it easier for you by telling you exactly what you can do to get through it easier, it just kind of like removes any aspect of actually, you know, earning your way there. It's like, oh, you can't take on the gym. You got to get these Pokemon. Okay, cool. I'll get those Pokemon. Now it's going to be easier for me. Sure, maybe you won't be forced to use them. We don't know yet, by the way. We don't know if you're not going to be like. I haven't seen like if that's an actual like if it's a requirement or not. They have to use the Pokemon you catch or whatnot for at least for the first gym. But you are given, like they mentioned, a Pikachu with double kick. Which I remember when I saw that, I was just like, this is stupid. Yeah. Like I remember, like, you know, in playing original Yellow and stuff, like, you know, you'd have to get like a Pokemon that would be good in that situation. You know, for example, yeah, like, I mean, I remember I caught like a Nidoran specifically so I could get double kick on the Nidoran, and that's how I defeated the gym. That was off my own accord. That wasn't because the game told me to do so. That was just me being like, okay, this is the best way to defeat the gym. This is like, you know, what I've figured out and what I've learned, and this is how I'm going to do it. But now the game is kind of telling you exactly what you can do. And also, by the way, like, I don't think there is really a way in general, at least in like the first like route, like Route 3 or whatever. Like, wait, no, is it like Route 2? Route 1, 2, up to like the Viridian Forest. There is no way to actually get a water type Pokemon as far as I know at all.
Yeah, there isn't.
But that's going to be changed now. Right? Because as far as I know, because I know you can catch a Nidoran if you go like over to
wait, what
towards the
end. What are you talking about?
No, but like there's because the whole requirement for you to take on the Brock's gym in Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee is that you have a grass and a water type, right?
Oh, it was either or, I'm pretty sure.
Was it either or?
Yeah, but
well,
I'm
either
still
way,
unsure
but that
how you would get a water type.
Yeah, but that's what I mean, right? That's exactly what I'm talking about. Because how would you get a water type?
Yeah.
Exactly, because you're not actually able to catch water types in Pokemon Yellow until like what? After like once you get to I don't even wait. Like when do you see?
The Magikarp before Mount Moon, I guess would be your best bet.
That's the only water type I can think of. Like the earliest one you would get.
Yeah, and like I mean, how would that even be useful? Like, that's what I mean. It's like I feel like there's a lot of like weird ways, like you mentioned earlier, like where basically they're just making it easier for you, and it's like, okay, so do I make this harder for myself now by forcing myself to make it harder? Because shouldn't a game kind of base level just be not super difficult, not like Dark Souls levels of difficult, but like just difficult enough that I have to like kind of put in some effort. It's like, nah. We'll tell you exactly what to do, and you'll get past this, easy. It's like, okay, so cool. I want to win this battle, but I got to make it hard for myself. That's when my problem comes in. It's like I shouldn't have to, like, just logically speaking, I shouldn't have to make it harder for myself. There should kind of just be a thing that's kind of there. Like if we're talking like Nuzlocke, sure, that's a challenge you put on yourself for shits and giggles. But like I shouldn't have to make the base game when I'm playing through it normally just intentionally harder for myself. For the sake of like making it harder for myself because the game is too easy for me. Like I don't know, that just feels really redundant to me. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I'm not saying it's the end of the world. I just feel like it's just like casualization and like losing, difficulty for no specific reason. That's all I'm saying.
The one thing I'm really concerned about is like when I first saw co-op, I was like, oh, that's awesome. I'm super excited for co-op. But then I saw the co-op gameplay and you're still facing the trainer's one Pokemon with your two. And I was like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, that's definitely like... I feel like if that was the case, they should just like make sure every trainer can send out 2 Pokemon if you're playing that way.
That's what I thought would happen. I was like, oh, okay, it's kind of become a double battle or something like that. That's cool. But it's 2 against 1. What is
that? It'll be like
a
bug catcher with a Metapod. No, I need 2 Pokemon to beat this. It's too tough.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a good point to say here regarding this actual thing. Because an actual Pokemon fan game did this better than Let's Go Pikachu Let's Go Eevee are doing. Because I don't know who has played Poke1, which is like a brand new Pokemon fan game MMO. In that game, you can party up with like a random players, right? Or like if with a friend, you can party up and then you battle people together. But what the game does is, if you're battling together against a trainer who hypothetically, let's say, only has 1 Pokemon if you battle him generally, right? So like, if you take on this person on your own, so to say, the person only has 1 Pokemon, that's it. But if you're battling him with a friend, that trainer gets a duplicate of of one of their Pokemon that they already have. So if the trainer has like a Butterfree, they'll get another Butterfree in their team to kind of make up for for the fact that you have 2 you're battling with 2 people against this person. So
that's what I assumed would happen, but
yeah,
no.
Same here. And it's just like I don't get it because like I feel like sometimes Game Freak it's just like small things where they really fuck up. It's like most of the time when you talk about small like details in games, you talk about the good details. For Pokemon, I feel like it's just the small details is where they fuck up. Like the small details is where they kind of miss it and where they kind of fail. Now, again, I mean, like I personally hope these games will be fun and good and whatnot. I have a feeling they're just going to be casual and it's just going to be like from point A to point B and you're done, and like not much else there, no substance, so to say, like a kind of bare bones experience, right? That's what I'm thinking about these games will be like. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, okay? Because I feel like a lot of people in chat, a lot of people usually when they leave comments and they get angry when you complain about these games are just complaining because, you're not sucking Game Freak's dick 24/7. It's just like, trust me, I'm a Pokemon fan. Pokemon's success is my success. As long as Pokemon's doing good, I can also do good in terms of making videos and stuff and just surviving on YouTube. Like, I hope Pokemon always does well. All I'm saying is, I also hope we get a good product in return and not just a simple bare bones experience so they can make quick cash. That's all I'm saying. Like, I still hope these games are good because I'm also a Pokemon fan. I want them to be good. That's all.
Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm optimistic. I'm kind of like cautiously optimistic about these games. But I'm excited for them still. I'm excited to see what they do with them. It's a new experience. Of course, going back to Kanto again is, but I'm excited to see what they can do with it. And then one thing I was talking about with like casualization and all that kind of stuff, the one thing I'm happy that they're simplifying, or not simplifying, but making it easier or less time consuming to do is EVs and all that kind of stuff with like what is it, the vitamins or the
there's like candy or something like that.
Candy, yeah, candy. I'm really happy about that. And I'm excited to see what the metagame's going to be like the competitive metagame with just the 151 Pokemon. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. But yeah, I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic and excited. But so long as they draw out the casual elements from the core series game, if this game has that effect, I'm happy.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like next year, as long as the games are Ultra Sun and Moon level of difficulty, then I mean, at the minimum, I'm happy, because I actually felt like those games were kind of challenging. Like Ultra Necrozma's fight, that was hard. Totem, Togedemaru, Araquanid, those were kind of hard. Like, I actually thought that game was challenging after a while. So if they had that kind of difficulty at least, then I'll be happy.
Yeah, like at least an increasing difficulty. Because what we've seen so far, we have to keep in mind, is all just like the introductory stuff to the game, right? It could very well, we don't know, it could very well kind of grow in difficulty throughout the whole game. I guess we'll have to see. But yeah, as of now, it's kind of, you might have a little bit of a pessimistic mindset because, you have to have this type to get into this gym or this and this. But I don't know. They could increase the difficulty as the game goes on. We'll have to see. It's not looking likely at this point, but again, I'm going to be optimistic.
All right, well, the next thing here in the interview that I think was kind of weird that he said was the reason that they decided to get rid of like wild battles and catching Pokemon the traditional way. He was comparing it to like fishing. I don't know why. He said like traditional Pokemon catching, he sees it as like fishing, and then Let's Go's catching Pokemon, he sees as bug catching, so he finds it more simpler. But the thing is, like, I don't really think it's even that hard in a normal Pokemon game to learn how to catch Pokemon. They have a tutorial in every single game. You press two buttons to go to bag, throw a Pokeball. You teach them how to lower your health and put them in a status. Like, I don't think it's so hard. And also, they're going to have to learn how to do it if they get interested in buying Gen 8 next year.
Like, I have a comment on that, actually. Okay, it's cool. Sorry again, I apologize, man. I know, but about that exactly, because I understand the metaphor he used for fishing versus like, bug catching, because I think what he means is like when you're fishing, there's a battle between you and the fish. You're trying to win against the fish in this battle of like, might, essentially. Like, oh cool, I'm using my, the fishing rod is the Pokemon you're using to catch the Pokemon in the water, essentially. That's the kind of
your sharks.
I get, like, I'm explaining the metaphor right now. I know I'm stupid, but like I get what he means by the metaphor. I understand the actual metaphor. But I feel like that's also where the issue comes in, because personally, bug catching is like not so much fun. It's like, cool, yeah, sure, bugs, great. I fucking catch them in the net, great. What's the, like, I mean, sure, collecting them is fun to some extent if you're a bug collector, but bugs are creepy and weird. But like fishing is actually, as somebody who loves fishing, is actually fun because you have to actually be good at it, put in some effort. I don't know why, but like it just sounds like that actual point that you made, because I totally forgot about that. It's so stupid. Like, why would you remove, like, to me that's so dumb. Removing such a core aspect to Pokemon, which is the aspect of you're catching Pokemon by battling them. Like in the anime, take out the aspect of the fact that Ash received so many Pokemon, like, and you look at like how Ash started his journey. The Pokedex tells him to catch a Pokemon, you need to weaken it. Yep. That's just how it works. In these games, it's just like, hey, cool, there's a Pidgey. Let me just throw a Pokeball at it. Like, it's not, oh yeah, sure, it's not going to put up any effort. It's just going to jump around a little bit, make a few moves, and growl at you. Cool. Yeah, no, I don't think a Pidgey would do that. I think, or a Sparrow, I'd probably rip my neck off. But I don't know. Also, they really want Smash.
Well, there's only two more things here to talk about, and then it's pretty much just all Smash for like the next 20 minutes.
Okay.
All right, well, basically the last couple things he was just talking about was the Pokemon 2019 game. He said it's going to be handheld focused. Now, obviously, I feel like he's just saying that because the traditional Pokemon games have been on handheld. But I wanted to talk to you guys. Do you think that he might be, like, implying kind of that the games are going to be, like, more focused on you playing the game in handheld mode? Like, they'd encourage you to play it like that?
Yes.
I really don't want that to be the case, though. Like, I would much rather just play it on a TV.
Yeah,
I think it's yes, actually.
Yeah, what I was thinking is that, like, of course, all the main series games thus far have all been handheld, and I think that there's partially a reason for that. So you can go out and play with other people, trading, battling. Pokemon is a very interactive game in that regard. But I think that's one of the reasons why I was so excited for the Switch is that it's like a hybrid console. So if you want to sit back at home, play it on the TV, then you're all good. And like the hybrid aspect of the Switch, I think is perfect for Pokemon because you can have your own adventure at home, and especially with co-op now. That's I kind of hope they bring that to the main series, but kind of adapt it a little better. But yeah,
they won't though. That's the thing. No, I bet you they won't. I think I get what they're doing here. Based on actually, wait. By the way, I want to mention this. If you guys remember the Pokemon Plus and Minus rumor, look into that again because that shit actually is worth looking at nowadays. But here's the thing, right? The 2019 games, you're gonna probably still be able to play them on like your TV and stuff. That's not gonna be something they're gonna remove. And there's probably gonna be some aspect to you, like there's gonna be something there for an incentive to also want to play that way. You know what I mean? It's probably gonna be something like that there, but there won't be co-op in those games. I bet you right now, guarantee you there will be no co-op. Why? Because if you actually look at the Let's Go games, you only play with one Joy-Con. Those games are played with one Joy-Con. That's all you use. But since these other games will be handheld focused, they can't do that because they gotta make sure that you're actually using both the full, so to say, controller. You know what I mean? Which is both the Joy-Cons combined. But since Let's Go only uses one, it's way easier to play those games in that regard because you give one Joy-Con to sibling, friend, whatever, you give them one and you take one and you play together. It makes sense. But for these other games or these upcoming games, since they're handheld focused more, there's not going to be that possibility because when you play a freaking handheld game, you don't want to be just using one thing at a time. You know what I mean? There's one Joy-Con. It'll be just really weird of experience when playing it. So I don't think there'll be any co-op. And also, if these games are supposed to be more like the experiences from like the 3DS, line of games, there's no way they'd want to bring in like co-op there because it would just it would dilute what they're doing, so to say, I feel like. But I could be wrong, but I just feel like it's unlikely it's going to happen.
Dude, the one thing that I was talking about with my friends, and I'm almost certain I have faith in Game Freak that they won't do this, but the thing is, I don't know if you know, there's actually some games on the Switch that are handheld specific only. Like, you can only play them in handheld mode. Can you imagine if they did that like next year, like where you could only play that game in handheld mode?
I'd be disappointed.
Yeah, I'd be
would
extremely upset. But I'm saying like there's legitimately games out there on the Switch where you can't play them in docked mode. I think one of them got an update like that though, where like it was playable on the TV afterward. But like that would be terrible.
They would get too much backlash. There's no way they would do that. They would get shat on by everyone.
I was just kind of getting scared because like the way he just kept saying handheld experience, it's gonna be like handheld. I was just like.
Well, I think that's just more to point out to people that like this game is gonna be the things you've experienced previously. That's the things all he means. Because I agree. I was afraid as well when I first read it. I was like, please don't tell me this is gonna be a game where you can't actually play it in docked mode because that's literally the reason we were excited about this game because it's gonna be the first Pokemon. And I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Let's Go games. It's still a spin-off in my head. But like the 2018, 2019. Yeah, no, I don't care. Like the 2019 games are the real main series first ever games on the console. I don't give a shit what people say. That's just the real truth.
Let's not start a war now.
Oh, I don't care, man. People hate me already for my opinions on this shit. But straight up though, like if they were to not make it possible for us to play those games on docked or in docked mode,
it's a wrap.
Like they will get so much shit. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, one interesting thing that I was thinking about as well is that he was talking about in the interview. He was talking about how, somehow the Let's Go Pokemon will be able to be transferred into the 2019 game. The one thing I'm interested about is like the special Pokemon in Pokemon Go. What happens to them once they're transferred into Let's Go? Do they will the Squirtle still have the glasses, and then can you transfer that further?
You can't transfer a special Pokemon.
You can't? Okay.
Nope. No shinies. No shinies. No special Pokemon.
Either.
Nope. No shinies. No special Pokemon. You can only transfer basic Pokemon. Like
that's always been a thing though. Like even in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, like if you remember the cosplay Pikachu, you couldn't transfer that into like Sun and Moon.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Shinies is kind of lame that you can't though. That's kind of lame.
I'm wondering what like the shiny encounter rate or anything like that will be in Let's Go. That's really interesting. Have you had actual confirmation that there will be shinies?
I want to bring that up because I don't think there might even be shinies in there. Because like think about it, why would they not allow you to send over shiny Pokemon? Because think about it. Think about think Pokemon Go. When did Pokemon Go get its first introduction of shinies? Because it didn't have it from day one. It didn't. That's
no, it was the Magikarp, I think. It was like 6 months in or something like that.
Oh yeah, the
exactly.
Magikarp, yeah.
So I have a feeling there's not even going to be shinies in Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee.
That would be a scary Oh my god, could you imagine shiny hunters? Oh my
Dude,
God.
I mean, that's my fear as well. Because think
Game
about it, though.
over.
How would you actually shiny hunt Pokemon in these games? Because here's the thing, right? Do they have, like, if there are shinies, right, would they be visible as shinies in the overworld? Or would you have to...
That would be really cool, but... I don't
But
know.
unlikely as well is what I'm thinking,
yeah.
because why would they
Focus.
limit you from sending shinies from Pokemon Go? Why would they not allow that unless there are no shinies in those games? You know what I mean?
Someone in the chat said they can be sent over.
No, they can't.
I don't know.
No, they can't, because I literally read that specifically. They said no special Pokemon and no shiny Pokemon cannot be sent over. Specifically read that.
Yeah,
So-
what just occurred to me too is that they'd have to make the following Pokemon, or like the rideable Pokemon models, shiny as well. which
Precise.
is,
That's for like select ones like Arcanine and all those.
mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah, but still,
basically,
that's a decent chunk.
the last thing that I wanted to talk about Pokemon related was something that Sylph already mentioned a little bit, and that was just about transferring Pokemon over into the 2019 games. I feel like they're gonna do it, right? Like you definitely think so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
I
why
think
wouldn't
I
they?
said that he wanted to do. He said he was optimistic about like the prospects of doing so, right? Like he wasn't
Like he didn't straight up
100%,
say,
but
yeah.
yeah,
But he was like, I've heard, in the past, you weren't able to transfer certain Pokemon into certain games, and I imagine that created a lot of like bad memories.
yeah, bad memory, yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like I'm gonna try to change that if I can.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
Yeah,
it's gonna make
so-
sense. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you're definitely gonna make it transferable. But yeah, all right. Well, we can finally move on to Smash Bros. Because I think that's what 90% of the chat has been asking for. All right. So in terms of Smash Bros, all right, the one thing that I wanted to talk about was a demo. And so for like a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate demo, kind of in the lines of like how we had the ARMS test punch on the Switch or whatever, and then the Splatoon test fire and all of that. There was an interview that Bill Trinen from Nintendo got to have. I forget who it was with, but like they asked them like, do you have any ideas of like doing something like this in terms of Smash Bros? And his exact quote right here, I have it in the show notes. He said, "Very good question. Right now, we're much focused on getting the game ready. We do have a few other things to talk about down the road between now and when it launches in December. We'll hopefully have some more news as we get closer to launch." What do you think that could mean? Like, do you think they're actually going to do a demo?
No,
Would I?
Yeah, I don't feel
know.
like it. Because I feel
that
like
doesn't sound like they want to do it, and I don't think
Yeah.
they would want to do it because
Data
of the
mining.
potential of people. Like, yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Like, ever since like what Sun and Moon, they just like you don't see demos for like games owned or partially owned by Nintendo. You don't see that happen anymore because people just kind of like data mine the shit out of them, or even get the full games out of just the demos.
Just extract it. One thing I was thinking about, I remember we got a demo for the 3DS and Wii U versions, right? How
only on
soon before
3DS.
release was that?
It was only on 3DS, I'm pretty sure, right? There was no Wii U demo.
What? Oh yeah. It was 3DS. How soon before release was that? Just so we can have maybe a little bit of a time frame. Does anybody remember?
I forget.
Oh wait, I think I do because I remember I think I did play it on the 3DS actually because I think I still have the file on there.
It was like
Yeah, I think I still have the demo
think-
file.
different, yeah.
I think it
like-
was pretty close to the actual like release as far as I remember.
There was something with like Club Nintendo, I'm pretty sure, and it was like if you were a member, you got to get
Yeah,
the demo early,
yeah.
and you also had unlimited uses for the demo. But like if you were just a normal person, then you'd have to wait for like an extra week, I think, and then you could only play the
Yeah,
demo
yeah, I remember that now. Yeah.
like 20 times or something like that.
So I don't know if we look at that trend, if they're planning on doing anything similar to that, then maybe we still have a chance of getting one later on if it's close to release. But yeah, he said we have a few other things to talk about. So I don't know. Maybe there's something else that he's got planned.
You all do think that there's going to be a Smash like focused direct at some point, though, right?
I mean, yeah, most. I mean, I don't think fully for like Smash though, because they've already kind of shown most of like what the games are.
Now they've shown nothing except for Smash.
Well, I mean,
mode.
character. I mean, yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I mean. Like, I feel like they wouldn't do a full one because if they wanted to do a full one, they probably would have done it, earlier. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It just
because they did a whole
I mean,
Smash
they-
Brothers extravaganza like the
Yep. Yeah,
month
they did that
before
last
Smash
time.
Bros. came
yeah,
out.
but that was under
and they
the
also had
banner.
a demo last time as well on the 3DS, and it couldn't get data mined because they made like a whole separate demo that.
Oh yeah, yeah. They did that for the Switch.
For-
So I think both are possible, demo and the direct.
But here's the thing, though, about the direct thing, though, it's like the part of the direct that happened back at E3. that was branded as a Nintendo Direct, not a Smash Direct, right?
Mhm.
That's what I'm thinking is like, we probably will get a Direct, and there'll probably be a ton of Smash shit, but it won't be a Smash Direct specifically, so it won't just be only Smash. It'll be an actual, just normal Nintendo Direct with the other shit, and then also just a ton of Smash.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they could.
That's kinda what I'm
I
thinking.
feel like though that there's still much more like new content that they just have yet to show us. Like not in terms of characters,
Yeah.
but like maybe new modes. Like they still have to show us like classic mode and all-star mode and all that stuff. So I feel
Yeah,
like
and we haven't had, like, do we know if there's going to be like a solo campaign or anything like that yet?
there has to be, right? Or like I meant like classic mode. Not I don't know about like an actual subspace like mode.
Mm-hmm.
At the very least, I want something like a boss.
Yes, I need boss battles. That was so much fun on Brawl.
If they do have something like that, you'd imagine that they'd show it at some point before release.
Oh yeah, I
So-
feel like though that they'll probably have some type of Smash Direct like right before it comes out, like maybe a month before, like sometime in November or so. Because like they usually do that for all their big games. Like even last year, like before, what was it? Xenoblade Chronicles 2 came out. There was a direct that happened specifically for that game in November.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like they're probably
Yeah,
gonna do something.
I
like
think
that.
we'll get something else.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, the next thing in terms of Smash Bros. Was about Xenoblade representation, actually. And there was also, if I could find the exact thing, I'd put it up. But it was basically Bill Trennan again with IGN. And they were at San Diego Comic-Con, I'm pretty sure. And they were talking about, like, how Smash Bros. Has impacted the scene and how there's so many more people that are playing it. And he was talking about how it's so good, like, in these games, like how you got all the characters from the previous ones returning. But then he said it's also helped a lot of the other franchises from getting their like characters into the game, as more people have like bought those games as well. And he specifically said like Bayonetta and stuff like that. But then he also said Xenoblade a lot too. So a lot of people feel like maybe they're hinting at a new type of Xenoblade character coming in.
Yeah, he said Xenoblade characters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Xenoblade characters, and we only have Shulk, so.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me, especially because Sakurai said he loved Xenoblade 2 a lot. He played it, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of this, Bill Trennan has actually kind of made some slip-ups before.
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys saw it before E3.
I'm gonna try to
but
put
he
that
actually-
in the stream.
Yeah, someone made a little tweet saying, like, Metal Gear something, like, turns 10 tomorrow. I feel so old. And he said, don't worry, you'll feel even older tomorrow. Like, and that was
Yeah, he
the
literally
day
like
before
kind of confirmed
E3.
Snake.
And I was like, yeah, Snake's gonna be in Smash, and he was. So,
Basically confirmed.
and
It.
then he had to clarify that he 2 hours before the direct, he's like, oh, I was actually joking here, but then he really wasn't.
Yeah, I found the tweet right here. I put it up. So he's like Metal Gear Solid 4 turns 10 today, and then he was like, "You'll feel even older tomorrow."
Tomorrow.
He's like basically just confirmed Smash, or like Snake was gonna be in Smash.
I'm surprised I didn't hear about that before the
He
this
tweeted
week-
it at like the night, so like everyone was.
And this was on the 11th of June, literally like a day before it was revealed.
Yeah, it was
Alright,
the
yeah,
day,
maybe that's why.
the night before actually.
That's
Yeah,
funny though.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
So yeah,
Crazy.
maybe he slipped up again on talking about Xenoblade characters.
yep.
I mean-
He's gonna get beat behind this.
Is there any particular characters that you would want to see from Xenoblade in the game? Because I personally,
I don't care
play,
too much about this.
Yeah, I don't play Xenoblade that much, so I don't really know.
Okay, I've played it, but
Rex and Pyra is what everyone wants.
yeah, I mean, yeah, because everybody wants to see those bajingas, but I don't know. Guess those would be the most basic ones and the most likely ones. Unless like Sakurai is just like, oh no, I have this side bitch that I really want in the game. It's like, yeah, we won't take the obvious ones. We'll take the shit that's more suitable for Mr. Sakurai. But I don't know. I don't know.
All right, well, let me see what else I wrote in here. Oh yeah, I was talking about Octopath Traveler. Now, personally, I'll admit I haven't played this game yet, but literally the stuff that I see on Twitter and what I've been hearing about this is it looks like this game is like ridiculously good because apparently it's like sold out everywhere. People are not able to get it. Like they literally can't get it in Japan because it's sold out. It's gotten very good reviews. I personally haven't played it, but I'm definitely going to probably pick it up at some point. Have any of you played it?
No, no, I've heard a lot. Like it's blowing up though. Like I've
It's
heard a lot
crazy.
about it.
Mm-hmm.
I looked into it a little bit. I saw that it was on the notes here, and I looked into it. It looks really really cool actually. I've never really played games similar to it. But just the artistic style and all that stuff, it looks really, really cool.
It's a JRPG also, so not sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
I'm
looks
definitely
like
gonna get it
like,
at some point though, because it looks like it's actually worth playing. Like everyone says, like this is like on top of the list with like Mario Odyssey and Zelda Breath of the Wild. Like it's one of those must-haves on the Switch.
Yeah, that's what I've even heard some people saying like it's the current best game on the Switch, which is a huge claim, like
I mean,
a really, really big claim.
Right now though, like on the Switch in 2018, what is the best game? Like you can't say
Well, I mean, for 2018, it could probably. I mean, isn't Breath of the Wild like the best game on the Switch overall? But I guess if
no, it's
Octopath
Odyssey,
Traveler
I'm pretty
is,
sure.
is it really?
Yeah, I think Odyssey sold the most.
Well, I mean, no, I'm talking like in terms of reviews and like perception.
Reviews.
Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
they
probably.
both
then,
got tens though, right?
I think they were both tied.
well, I don't know. I mean, as far as I knew, I thought it was specifically Breath of the Wild that was better. I know Odyssey's like been super well received as well, but I just thought like Breath of the Wild edged it out somewhat. But I could be wrong. I have no clue. All I'm saying is though that I've heard so much, just like you guys heard so much good about this game. I just don't have the money to throw around right now, and I just haven't had the time to actually like try them out.
Same here. Yeah, but like people like tell me that it's basically like 8 games in one because you can play as like 8 different characters, and they both have like their own like they all have their own stories and stuff.
Yeah, and one thing as well that I'm seeing with a lot of games lately, a lot of these games that suddenly kind of blow up, like I'm looking at Fortnite especially, is that the artistic style is not like inclined towards realism at all, which is really, really interesting. It seems that games that have their own really distinct artistic style are doing really well. And oftentimes it comes from these kind of more indie developers, which is a really interesting trend that I've noticed. And I read some article recently about how games are becoming more and more like realistic looking in terms of their graphics. So they're all starting to kind of level out and look the same. So now all these kind of newer indie game developers are coming out with these really, really distinct artistic style games. And that's where all the, all the attention's been drawn to.
I think that's kind of a double-edged statement.
Kind of like a lot of the games on like PS4 and Xbox do look very similar. They all just have that realistic type of art style.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. Like, I'll be watching like Sony, Microsoft E3s, and sometimes I'll think they'll show some realistic game. I'm like, oh, it's from this franchise, and then it ends some other franchise, but they all look the same.
Yeah. Like I'm looking at first-person shooters specifically. Like the difference between Battlefield and Call of Duty, it's like
I probably couldn't tell you which is which.
Yeah.
But like, whereas if you like look at Nintendo's games, you can tell which one's a Mario game and which one's a Zelda game instantly.
Yeah. Like artistic style seems to be the way to go to me, at least from what I've seen.
I mean, that's true, but I think like you're right with the point you're making, but I think it's like kind of a double-edged one, where like, because you mentioned like Fortnite and stuff. Like if we're talking like actual major successes and stuff, like yeah, Fortnite is like the biggest game of all time essentially at the moment. Like it's essentially bigger than Minecraft, and that was like the biggest game at one point. But like Fortnite just edged it out. It's like the game of like the century, quote unquote. But like I think that you're right about the aspect of like games becoming so realistic or becoming so much more realistic now that they kind of blend together, and they lose that aspect of what a game is supposed to be, which is like an escape, and they end up being too realistic. So you can't really have this feeling of it, escaping into another world, because it just reminds you of the real world.
Yeah, it's just exactly.
I mean? Yeah,
it just all converges.
But the thing though is, then I'm kind of thinking of like stuff like PUBG, and I know it's dead now, kind of. I still got 1 million players daily. But if you actually look at like PUBG, that was kind of blowing up, and then Fortnite just came in and was free to play, and that's the only reason it actually kind of went past PUBG. Because if Fortnite Battle Royale was actually something you had to pay for, I bet you right now there's no way it would be even close to as big as it is. But since it was free to play, it blew up, and also it played on 2 big aspects. It was cartoony, which then goes to the second point, which is it fits children perfectly, because like if we take up what Masuda said, it's got to look like when the parents come in and see what the kid's playing, it's got to look like it's a friendly children's game, and that's what Fortnite looks like. Fortnite looks like a child's version of like World War II, but like with like Minecraft mixed in the bag, into the bag. That's like essentially what it is. You know what I mean?
And that's kind of another common trend I've been noting is that there's like, if we look back to Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, for instance, all these games seem to be kind of going towards this almost middle line between kids and adults in terms of gaming, and those are the ones that seem to be doing the best in terms of sales, at least. So it's a pretty interesting
that depends
trend.
on actually. That depends on because I don't think that's necessarily true, considering the fact that like you still have games like Call of Duty and like Battlefield that still sell way better than most Pokemon games and stuff. Like they just kind of do outsell those because Battlefield is just like a big franchise and more of a it's one of those things that like the bro dudes play. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like that sort of game. So like the casuals can like easily get into it, but like with Pokemon, it's when they focus hard into like, because I feel like with Pokemon it's kind of different compared to like games like that are indie games that are supposed to be artistically unique and stuff. I think it's a difference there because I think Pokemon is intentionally going for that style, not for the sake of that style being unique and interesting, but rather because okay, this style sells to kids. That's what they're going for. While if you look at a game that like is made by a small indie studio, like for example, Cuphead, right? Cuphead, like it is the style it is, not because it's trying to cater to a specific audience, but because that's how the game creator or the people who made the games, how the devs want to convey their game and the story in their game and the gameplay. They want to convey it in that style. While Pokemon, Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, as an example, are more going for that style because they know that style will work for a specific audience, so they can just kind of sell more to that audience. So I think that's where, to me, that statement of like, oh, people are going for these uniquer and like less realistic styles is a little bit of a kind of double-edged sword.
I just want to mention, I checked online, like on my local Target, Best Buy, and GameStop website, and Octopath Traveler is sold out on all of them.
Jeez.
Yeah. So I think it's still on Amazon. I can order it on Amazon, but I'm just.
Is it like a full-priced Switch game?
Yeah, 60.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. That's impressive to be able to
some
sell
people have
something
said that
that's
it should be worth even more considering it's like 8 games in one.
Yeah, that's very surprising though, given that it has like kind of that 16-bit graphic, but it has that kind of really cool 2D/3D look to it. It's pretty impressive, artistically speaking.
And for an exclusive on the Switch, it's doing extremely well, so that's good. Because I think everybody was saying like Octopath was. I think people were thinking it was going to come to other systems as well. But yeah, it didn't.
Oh, by the way, Madara L. I never claimed that like the experience takes away from like the quote unquote like outer world experience of the game. I was just saying that like to some people you kind of lose that feeling when the games are too realistic. So like as someone who personally likes more realistic games, to me that is not really an issue. Like I don't know. But I will say one thing about Fortnite real quick though. Like there is another game that I played which has like it looks exactly like Fortnite and it plays just like Fortnite, where you just buy skins and you have this cartoony style, and that's actually like Battlefield Heroes, which was supposed to be this kind of cartoony take at like shooter games, and that's kind of what Fortnite was as well. Well, like Fortnite was supposed to be kind of taking Minecraft and mixing it with like like a shooter game, but giving it like a new coat of paint, so to say. That's what it was supposed to be originally, because that game's been like in development for like almost 7 to 6 years actually, which is really weird. Like it's insane how long that's been in like actual development, because I remember reading about it like ages ago. But no, like I think just in general, more realistic games are not worth it for development studios nowadays because they're so expensive to make. Because like if you look at like Battlefield's cost to make, it's ridiculous, man. They have spent so much money getting those like hyper realistic models, because they have to go and like get like real prints, like you have to like take literal like go out and into like onto mountains and shit to get specific pictures on a specific like aspects of the nature and stuff to be able to like then photorealistically create those in the games. It's ridiculous what they do for all that stuff. So yeah.
I don't see it going away anytime soon, though. We got Elder Scrolls 6 coming.
Yeah.
So
while those games like COD and Battlefield they're doing really well, but like their sales relative to the past have been declining, haven't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think that's more that the actual franchises themselves are just kind of running out of like steam.
I mean, that's
So to
happening
say,
with
'cause,
Pokemon
like-
at this point also.
Yeah, I mean, every franchise has kind of a lifespan. I mean, Call of Duty has a reason to be dropping in sales because it's just shit. Like, it's literally recycled like shit. And the thing is, they're like that's the thing. Like with the COD game, like that's why I never was angry when Pokemon made remakes or when Pokemon did like third versions because they were like what $45 per like game. Is like, you know, it was cheaper than a $60 game, and you know it's fun to kind of experience the game again with like new aspects to it. But with COD, they're asking for $60. Oh, by the way, no, never mind. $120, you get the season pass because the moment a new DLC comes out, oh, guess what? Half the player base is going to get split, so you're not going to be able to find matches. Oh, by the way, when the third DLC comes up, now we're splitting into 3. Oh, when the fourth DLC comes out, then it's going to be split into 4. So good luck finding a game of like gun game or whatever. It's like I always hated COD for that, but I was okay with Pokemon doing like these, you know, like when they made a new game, it wasn't really a new game. It was just like the previous game, like that was in the iteration, but like a little bit more extra additions because they didn't charge so much for it. But now I'm kind of getting the feeling that like, Pokemon, don't go down that path of Call of Duty where they just give us the same trash, but like worse and worse each time.
Yeah, because the DLCs ended up costing the same as the game.
Yeah, I mean,
even more, I think.
I mean, the last good COD was like Black Ops 2.
Yeah, I love
it. And since then, dude, it was the best. But like ever since then,
back in the day,
it's just gone downhill since then. So far downhill.
Mm-hmm.
Like, have you seen Black Ops 3? Oh no, Black Ops 4. Sorry, how many are there now?
Dude, I was just
have you seen that shit?
I was hoping for it to be like 2. I was hoping for it to be like 2, and it's just not. And they're all like,
it's just like it's just like Black Ops 3.
Yep. And they were all like, no, we're all boots on the ground now. There's no like walking on walls and sliding. And I'm like, no, it still looks like the same as Black Ops 3. I was just hoping for a simple game that looks like BO2, like, but I guess not. But yeah, I mean, I guess now we can move on to the viewer questions if you all want to.
Yes, sir. Wait, didn't you have Nintendo Labo stuff to talk about?
Yeah, true. I mean, I don't really see us talking about this for that long, but really, basically, like a few days ago, they talked about a new Labo set that was going to be coming out. I'm pretty sure a lot of you don't care about Labo. I don't really care about it at all. And I think it is worth talking about because it's interesting because it looks like to Nintendo, they're pretty satisfied with the sales of how it's doing, and they're putting out more systems or like more like of these configurations. And I don't know if you saw the trailer for this new one, but this definitely looks like the most interesting one to me than the other 2 ones that were out.
I saw it actually. It looks pretty cool, but can I just say one thing about the Nintendo Labo stuff?
Yeah.
It's kind of dumb. Like, no offense, but are you really trying to are you really trying to sell us cardboard? I mean, in all honesty.
I mean, we're not the age demographic though, to be honest. Like, right? Like they're not trying to sell it to like people like us. They're trying to sell it to kids.
Yeah, no, but I get that. It's just like, though, really, you're still selling cardboard. Like, no offense. To me, that just seems like, really? Because I would have rather taken, like, a Wii Sports game than Nintendo Labo. No offense. I mean, straight up. To me, Labo just seemed like such a... the thing, though, is, it's Nintendo, so I'm okay with it. Because Nintendo can just pull it off. Like, Nintendo could be like, hey, we're going to sell you cardboard. Because fuck it. This is Nintendo. So I'm just like, okay, you know what? You have the balls to do it. I respect you for it, and I'm okay with it. But like, straight up though, they're selling cardboard to people. That's just stupid. Like, straight up. It's kind of cool, some of the aspects, like the one you mentioned, like the newest one, does look pretty cool actually. Yeah, like it looks pretty cool, but like I don't think it's worth the money they are kind of asking for because it's again cardboard. I can just get some cardboard, make those myself, like straight up.
I mean,
no, seriously, I can walk out right now and get like cardboard.
If anyone in the chat didn't see the newest trailer, basically it's like a car that you can have, and then you can take a piece out of the car and like turn it into a plane where you can like fly around on this like open world, and then you can also like make it into a submarine and dive underwater and stuff. It's pretty cool, but I mean, I don't think it's worth $70 or however much they're asking for it.
Oh hell no.
Yeah, because like, how long are you honestly gonna play that? I feel like after you built it for the first time, there's just not much else you can do.
And then to do anything else, you have to buy like different expansions for it, right? Different cardboard pieces, right?
Oh god, that's
it's I don't know.
It's like, what's the deal with Nintendo? They're like they take like 2 steps forward but 50 steps back. it's like we give you the Switch, which is like one of the greatest consoles ever. But then they're like, okay, but you want cool accessories? We're gonna give you cardboard. It's like, okay. I mean, I was expecting more like something like you having Guitar Hero, like a guitar and shit that's like plastic and pretty cool. But I mean, hey, cardboard is cool, I guess, as well. I mean, it will be destroyed if some water is spilled on it, but
and that's how they
whatever.
make their money back.
Exactly.
Yeah. Someone said when you realize cardboard has better quality than their online service.
Yikes.
Oof.
Oh man. But yeah, I mean, I guess we can now pretty much just move on to the viewer questions because, like I said in the beginning of the stream, there was not like a lot of huge things that happened this month that was gonna keep us talking for like 3 or 4 hours like we did on our previous streams. Like last time we had E3, all of E3 to discuss, and then before that was all the Pokemon hype before it was gonna be revealed. There's nothing really huge that's happened this month. But yeah, we've got a few viewer questions that we can answer. I actually put up a channel in the Discord so it's easier to just like look through these. And someone was saying, what are your thoughts on Nintendo not showing their full 2018 lineup? Because I don't know if you know, but there was an interview that they had with the global president Kimishima, and he was actually talking about how they purposely did not reveal all of Nintendo's 2018 games at E3 and that they're going to reveal more of them at the appropriate time. So what do you guys think?
That would be crazy because they've got like their winter season, like the holiday season is just great. They've got Mario Party 1 month, then Pokemon the next month, then Smash the next month. That alone is just holy shit.
But yeah,
that's huge.
But they still gotta give, because what you just mentioned, right? Kimishima said right. There's gonna be more info.
Yeah, he said like
he
said that we're gonna talk about our entire autumn lineup at the appropriate time.
Okay, so they have to mention Yoshi, right?
No, Yoshi
that got confirmed for next year.
But they said, and it's actually crazy.
They changed that.
They said they're going to talk about Yoshi in another event later.
Oh, they did.
I'm curious about that because
of Yoshi, with Yoshi being a 2019 game, I wonder if they're going to talk about other 2019 like later in the year. And what could that be? Like, because we don't know anything about 2019.
Well, I'm curious now because I didn't know Yoshi was switched to 2019. Because I remember when I read the the yearly reports or whatever, like the what's the word I'm looking for? Like they had that like yearly conference with their investors meeting. Thank you, investors meeting. Now I remember. I just said thank you to no one. I'm retarded. No, but I remember the investors meeting. They had that, and they specifically like on originally. That's the thing. I wasn't aware of that. That's why I was kind of like sitting during E3 and I was just like, where's Yoshi? Because I actually really want to see the next Yoshi game. Because I remember they showed us a little bit of gameplay last E3, and then since then we haven't seen anything. So I was just kind of sitting there like, okay, well, there's no Yoshi. This is kind of weird. And of course, no Metroid was expected to not be seen. Like I kind of expected there to be no Metroid, but like Yoshi was really weird to me. I didn't know it was actually confirmed to be next year. Wow, I mean, damn.
And then the weird thing was Bill Trinan was interviewed at E3, and he actually said the progress for Yoshi is coming along really well. So I just find it interesting how they like delayed it, but like they're still saying it's going along pretty well. Maybe
what was it listed like in terms of release date on the last investment report?
2018.
Oh,
2018. Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway,
yeah, I mean, I'm not sure, but like, do you think what are some other things that you think could actually come out this year in the fall?
I think it's gonna be really simple stuff like remakes or remasters.
Yeah, I think it'll be like ports, right? Like third-party ports.
Huge.
I can't imagine it would be anything too big because they haven't given themselves enough time to announce it and build up the hype, right?
Exactly.
And
autumn's almost here.
And Liam Robertson tweeted something saying like, don't expect like for the mystery games that we don't know about, like don't expect new, like quote unquote, like new.
Classic games. Classic games. Then they're gonna bring back like.
No, I think what he means is like because he even mentioned.
But don't expect like Animal Crossing or something.
Yeah, like he mentioned before E3 too that like there were some remasters that were really cool. They found out it were in the works, and you surprised they weren't at E3. So I'm expecting it to be like a Wii U remaster or like a remake of something. Like maybe we'll get like a Metroid Prime trilogy on the Switch or like Wind Waker HD
I'll cop that day one.
Majora's Mask, please.
Yeah. I mean,
I think it'll be like a remake or a remaster. I don't think it'll be anything crazy new, like a new Animal Crossing or a new, I don't know, F-Zero. Like,
yeah, some people were saying they wanted the Wonderful 101 like ported on Switch.
That would be awesome.
But yeah, I definitely don't think that they're gonna announce like a bunch of big AAA titles as their last thing that they have left.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I
definitely
think
gonna
I'll
be
do those
some
stuff.
some type of port or something. Because like if you remember the direct that we had last year, in like September, right? Like the fall direct, they talked about a lot of these third-party ports, and they announced like Doom and Wolfenstein 2 and stuff like that. I feel like that's what they're gonna
Yeah.
try to do again this year.
Oh,
Like we're gonna have the third-party ports. That's what's their entire
yeah,
fall
that's
lineup.
wow. I didn't think
I
about
think
that.
there'll
I
be
forgot
some
about that.
first party
That's
stuff
the fall
too,
lineup that they're talking about.
like for interim reports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Third party and remaster. It has to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe some small things like sprinkled in like little eShop games or something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
But like besides that, I don't really see them dropping like a huge AAA game
No.
again. Cause
No, they've already gotten the
maybe
whole
teasing it.
holiday.
Maybe they could like talk about like tease that at the end of a direct and then say it's coming out in 2019. But I think we can all guarantee that the end of that direct is just going to be a newcomer for Smash.
yeah. Isabel, hopefully.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they'd probably just do that. I'm not sure though.
What kind of like remake or remaster would we get, you guys, from Nintendo? If they were to put one out this year that we don't know about.
Metroid Prime trilogy.
Majora's Mask.
You don't have one.
I don't know.
Alfred?
No, I mean, I don't know. I just can't think of anything because I don't know, man. I've been too engrossed into basic games lately, so I haven't really thought about many Nintendo games that I want to play, specifically remastered ones. Just
You
haven't
playing that
thought about many.
Roblox?
Nah, yeah, man. I'm playing Fortnite Roblox, mate. Fortnite Roblox, mate. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the greatest. No, straight up though, I unironically played like Roblox, not like the base game, but like I played like this Call of Duty offshoot on Roblox.
How could
It's so
you?
weird.
How could
No,
you, man?
I've never
it's
played
fun
that
though,
game, man.
because it's fun though, because everybody who plays is like a child, so like you destroy them, and there's like it's fun. It's just like
sadistic, just like massacre.
right. It's not my fault that they're bad. I just kind of fun, like it is what it is.
Oh, that was me the first night. No. The first week that Fortnite came out on Switch, I was like, oh yeah, because no one had like all these kids who were playing on Switch for the first time. They
Just
just
rack
had no
up the
idea what
victory
they're doing.
royales.
Yeah.
Well, that's like back when like Black Ops 2 first came out and like people like couldn't buy it until like actually like Christmas and stuff. And they had a bunch of Christmas noobs that joined in. They're like fresh accounts. And you were just like mowing through through them. Like it was so much fun.
huge on
That's like
Destiny,
every
too. I
time,
don't know if you
though.
guys have played that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm
Yes,
telling you.
yes, I've played it. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. God damn. It's like no, I know exactly what you're talking about. Oh man.
I'm telling you, like if we
Ugh.
play Smash Bros for glory on Christmas this year, it's just gonna be hilarious.
Oh man.
I already
Especially-
know that's what.
Especially if you get it like on launch day and have like 3 weeks of playtime before them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
like
kind of
on
why
Christmas
I
break,
want a demo just to be able to kind of get ahead of the curve a little bit, just get a feel for the game before it actually releases.
I hope they do some kind of test fire.
Well, I mean, Endgame, you already got to play it, right?
Yeah.
How
was
was it?
awesome.
Oh, did you actually?
Yeah, he went to E3.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved it. I played as Ridley. He felt a lot like Ganondorf mixed with like Charizard, but he was still his own character.
That's what I heard. Charizard was a big
Mm-hmm.
similarity.
Yeah, but I can't even. It was just so good. I loved it.
What about like the whole game? Like they said, like they sped it up and everything happens really fast.
I couldn't tell because I was playing as a slower character because Ridley's not as fast. You know, he's like heavier.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to play as like Pikachu or something to see like how actually.
Yeah,
But like,
I
did
looked-
you notice that like when people hit you, you went like further back when you like flew off the stage?
I noticed that Ridley was able to take a lot of hits. I almost never died because he was so heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Really,
That's what people were saying. Like a lot of like there was like way more knockback in Ultimate than the Wii U version.
I did notice with other people I was able to knock them.
Mm-hmm.
Ridley's also that kind of character.
All right. Well, the next question in here is pretty much one that I think only Endgame could answer. Why is Animal Crossing so popular?
Yeah, it's one of those games that you have to play to understand, but I think just generally when you look at it, it just has appeal because like everyone loves animals and like everyone loves just like I guess simulation games in general are very popular and they have a wide range of appeal. If you actually look at the demographics of Animal Crossing Japan, there are a lot of women that play it in like their like 20s and 30s.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just because it has this appeal that it's hard. It really is like anyone will tell you that loves Animal Crossing. You have to play it to really see. But I think one of the reasons why it's so good too is that it never ends. Like it's this game
that's what I was gonna say. It's like you get sucked into it as a second life almost. You have to keep up with it. It's kind of
and it runs like your own, like another world because of the fact like time is the same as the real world. You know, if you open up Animal Crossing like October, there's gonna be fall leaves and stuff like that. It's gonna be like autumny. You open it in winter, it's gonna be snowing, and it's just it's the best. It's magic.
It's like fun maintenance almost. Is how I would describe it.
Yeah, you always get the comments where it's like Animal Crossing is trash. We don't need it on Switch, but it's like those are obviously people who've never played it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just so peaceful too. That's one of the reasons why it's like your own separate peaceful life.
Yeah,
there's no problem.
It's therapeutic almost.
Yeah,
like really an action-packed, stressful game.
Yeah, it's the best game to like de-stress with.
Just like a chill, relaxing game.
Yes.
All right.
Such a happy, whimsical game.
Yeah, I mean, like we don't really get those types of games that often, so I think that's why people like it a lot.
Yeah,
I mean, every game you're trying to like beat a boss, like take down a level or all that. Yeah.
And then there's Animal Crossing where you just chill.
All right, so one question here. I think we kind of already talked about this. How do you feel that there's a requirement for each gym in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee? I mean, kind of already talked about that, right?
Yeah.
Is it every gym? I've heard conflicting reports about this.
Yeah, me too.
Every gym. According to because Masuda said in the interview actually that, well, I mean, he didn't say like the word every like in that sense or all,
it's like
but like they were. Yeah, but they were like, oh, so like the interview was like, oh, so we saw that like, you know, there's like a requirement to take on the gym, and he's like, oh yes, when you take on the gyms, there are going to be these challenges. Is essentially how he said it. Like when you take on the gym, there's going to be these challenges, which to me implies that it's going to be for every single gym. But he did say there could be different methods for this, so it doesn't mean that every single gym you take on is going to be like, oh, you got to get this and this Pokemon. It could be other stuff. I'm not sure what the other stuff is particularly. It could be like, oh, if you want to take on this gym, you need to have certain items because they're more beneficial or something. But like basically the whole purpose of the gym, like the gym requirements is just going to be to like give you kind of like an edge against the gym leader.
Oh, I see how you interpreted that, because I thought of it differently. Like when he said there's going to be challenges awaiting you for each gym, I thought he was just referring to the battle with the gym leader, like how it's just going to get tough.
Oh, no. Like, no, to take on the gym, there'll be like a quote-unquote little quest type thing you got to do. So, for example, let's take Brock, because he's the only one we know exactly what you got to do for. For Brock, you got to catch a... I'm not sure if it's both or one, but you got to catch a... Sure. Yeah, grass or water type. I don't know if you got to catch both or only one, but you got to catch a grass or water type. So that's your actual quest, quote unquote, that you got to do. Like I call it a quest because it's the easiest way to refer to it. You go out, catch that Pokemon, come back, take on the gym, because it's that requirement. It's like the key you need to open the lock. But the thing though is, I think like where the issue comes in with that, and which we already discussed, is how that kind of makes it easier for you to take on the gym in a sense. Like it is like a side activity, which I think is always fun, because I personally like the quests that exist in like the Sun and Moon games, because they had like little like side quests and stuff. But the issue with the way they implemented it here is that they end up being a part of the main gameplay. Like they aren't a side thing or a side activity that you can decide if you want to go and do or not. You know what I mean? It's not optional, and that's where I feel like the problem is. You're kind of forced down the path of, oh, you have to get this or else you can't take on the gym. And I think that's for me personally where I don't appreciate it as much as if it was like a side thing. You know what I mean? If it was like a side challenge or quest or whatever, like, oh, go catch a grass type and I'll give you some soup. I'll be like, okay, cool, sure, old lady, I'll get a grass Pokemon for you and you give me some soup. Like I'd be fine with that. But like,
it's like
forcing you to get
here.
those, yeah, exactly. It's like
do it.
Exactly, and that's the issue, because it just ends up making the gameplay feel even more like it's just kind of like too streamlined, which Pokemon already is. Let's be fair, it's already super streamlined. Yeah, exactly. So it's just like, it feels like they're doing it even more now.
That's one of the things I really like about the Zelda franchise, is that there's all these tons of different side quests, but they're all optional. They can perhaps help you in the game, but it's all really optional and kind of like fun stuff, but not necessary to progress.
And that's where I feel like Game Freak needs to take a chapter out of like the Zelda games, as like, book, because that's the issue with the Pokemon games. is that like it's so linear, and it's like it needs more openness. Like I've seen what openness can bring to a Pokemon game, and I've had way more fun with Pokemon fan games than with most Pokemon official games.
See, this is what I'm like concerned about. Like, it might be just because these specific games are geared towards the casuals, and Gen 8 will be completely different. We really have to wait until we see Gen 8 to judge. But I don't like the tone that Masuda's been having, where he keeps consistently saying we're trying to streamline the series, trying to make it easier. Catching Pokemon was too hard. All this other stuff. When you see this kind of tone, it usually means that this might be their general mindset. Like when we were hearing from Aonuma, like before Breath of the Wild was even a thing, he was talking about like, hey, we might get rid of the tutorials. We want this to be a more hardcore, and we ended up getting Breath of the Wild, which was that game, like with open world and no tutorials, and it was like everything fans have been asking for. Well, Masuda's doubling down on the rhetoric that I think a lot of people have been disappointed with, and that might mean that like we should be a little worried for Gen 8.
God damn, and you just literally, damn. Oh man, you just fucked up my brain because just what you just said. Oh man, it makes so much sense now. Because
dude, that's why like I really want Game Freak to hire more young people, because the young people have this like hip mindset where they will help them. Like the team that made the Rainbow Rocket episode was all young developers. Look how good that turned out. Look how good that was. That's why we need to do something like that. Like we need people like that.
Oh no, because I have to mention something really quick, and you just made such a good point, my man. So Masuda, oh man, I'm not sure if I can support Masuda anymore, because I think my man's delved down too deep into this casualization. No, but straight up though, because do y'all guys remember that interview that Masuda did with like Omori, I think? Like they did an interview with, I think, Game something. I don't know. There's so many of those game like journalist sites.
When did it happen?
Oh, this was like last year. I can't remember. This was a while back, my man. Like, this was a while back. But they were talking about like that they're. Oh, this was last year. Yes, this was last year. They were talking about like what we should expect for Pokemon Switch. Like they were being asked questions, right?
Oh, this was the Game Informer one.
Yeah, the magazine one.
Yes. Okay, I have to bring this one up because there were like 3 parts to that one, but people didn't see, like people just saw the main one that was on their channel, and they didn't see the other parts. So I watched all of them, and there's this part where Masuda's being asked about Zelda, like Breath of the Wild, because Breath of the Wild that came out, it was fantastic. Like
I know where you're going.
10 out of 10. Exactly, and they were asking Masuda, okay, hey Masuda, so Breath of the Wild came out, it was this open world game. Do you think this is something you would do for Pokemon? And he was like, well, Zelda, Zelda is, you play with a sword and, a shield and, it fits the open setting, and we've kind of already done, and this is what pissed me off, we've kind of already done open world with Pokemon Go, and I'm just like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Wait, he said that?
Yeah, I'm just like, I remember when I heard that at first, I was just like, I must be misconstruing this. Like, there's no way he actually is trying to tell me, or not me, but everybody, that his version of it's like, are you really trying to tell me that your version of an open world game is literal open world game? Like, my man, you're going too meta on me. But I remember him saying that, and saying that
and telling him.
No, but the thing though is, it's so weird to me because he specifically then continues on. It's not just that, he continues on and says that, like, Breath of the Wild, like, they essentially tries to give you the nudge of like, we're not doing that. If we can, like he says, like, oh, if we can find a way to do that, perhaps we would do it.
I think he said he wanted to try and add more open world elements to the game, but that he'd never do an actual open world game.
He didn't claim that. Actually,
he said something. I don't think he ever. He said something about how he feels like the world of Zelda, where you're like beating monsters with a sword and a shield, fits Zelda much better.
Precisely.
And he's like, I don't know what I would do if I had an open world and just put Pokemon in there. That's what he said, something like. Precisely.
And I think somebody actually mentioned something interesting. The first Zelda is open world. Yeah, you're right. But the thing though is, after like the first few, like first Zelda, whatever, like the 3D ones all went kind of down this like streamlined linear path, or like more linear, so to say. They kind of became more entrapped. Still good games, but more entrapped. And then Breath of the Wild was like, hey, let's make this like the Legend of Zelda game that we had in the past, the original. Let's make that, but 3D and just open world. fantastic looking graphics and stuff. But with Pokemon, I feel like as long as Masuda is kind of at the helm, I'm kind of scared, my man. Like, when the moment you mentioned that like the fact that how he has this idea that it has to be a child friendly, it has to be casual. God, that scares me because he doesn't seem to want to do an open world game, which I bet you, if Game Freak just like gave the crown, to make the game, or they just gave the possibility to the younger people to make the games, it would be fantastic. Because like you mentioned, the Rainbow Rocket episode, actually no, this is actually something that I don't understand how most people don't know this, but actually the whole of Ultra Sun and Moon was led by a younger like lead designer, like a lead producer rather.
Yeah, Mr. Iwao, or however you say
he was put in charge, and he's way younger than Masuda. He was put in charge for that game, and all the younger developers were the ones who were working on it. Hence why I love what they did with Ultra Sun and Moon. They removed the annoying parts, like the overabundance of cutscenes in the start of the game. You were actually able to get your starter early. They added in the Rainbow Rocket episode, which was great. They added in the Ultra Wormholes, which I think were awesome. I mean, after a while, you got a bit bored of them, but hey, I got like clean 12 to 15 hours of gameplay out of just that aspect of the game. So I'm fucking happy. And the games are challenging, but also at the same time casual friendly in a sense. Yeah. They're like they have challenging parts, like where you take on the totem Pokemon and stuff.
I mean, but I'm not gonna lie though. I feel like that trainer school battle at the end was kind of hard too in the beginning.
I mean, straight up in general, they were like not easy games in terms of the battles, but I feel like the issue was the hand holding where you had to go was the issue mainly with those games. I feel like if Sun and Moon were made by the younger people to begin with, they wouldn't have been as hand holdy and all that stuff as what we got with I mean, also, the current games.
The thing is, I'm pretty sure Masuda didn't make Sun and Moon either, or Ultra Sun and Moon.
No, but it was another
Homer made Sun and Moon, and then the other younger guy made Ultra Sun and Moon. So technically, Masuda hasn't made a game since I think X and Y. Like he hasn't led the game, so hopefully he's leading Gen 8.
No, but that's the thing though. He's the one who made Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee.
But I'll trust him. But if he messes up on Gen 8, he's gonna lose a lot of trust from people.
See, wasn't Masuda the one who specifically made it so the Battle Frontier wasn't a thing in Omega Ruby?
Was he?
I forgot if it was him or Omori or...
I think it was actually Masuda who did it. I mean, somebody in chat could probably know this. Was it Masuda? Because I'm so sure it was Masuda. Because I think it was Masuda that said
the thing for Let's Go was Masuda actually said in the interview that he was trying to defend Wild Battles because he was a series director.
Yeah, but then he just kind of gave up on.
And then he's like, he's like, after listening from the team and everything, he's like, maybe I should change it up a little bit.
I don't know, man.
The one thing I was happy about with the interview that he did recently was that he was talking a lot about fan feedback and how he wants to use Let's Go to get a lot of fan feedback and then try and act upon that, which I haven't ever really heard him say. So that's one thing that I was happy about. Whether or not he follows through on that is another matter, but it's a new type of rhetoric that I don't think
I feel like they're probably so far into development for Gen 8, like what kind of fan feedback could they add into it now?
I don't know. I guess just minor touches, but yeah.
Because I would assume by now they probably have like all the Pokemon created and stuff like that. I mean, I would think. But, I feel like now they're probably just like, I don't know, polishing the game and everything.
Making it prettier.
Well, they're probably just like...
Because they probably have the story and everything, like all the foundation's done.
Well, the Pokemon are always the first thing they do. That's because I remember listening to how they developed the games a while back. The first thing the first thing overall that they do is to sit down and brainstorm ideas. And then the second thing they do after brainstorming those ideas is to actually make every single Pokemon, design them to begin with. And then once they've done that, that's when they continue on and go to all the other aspects of making the games, actually developing it, making all the 3D models and stuff, which takes time. I think that what they're doing right now, they're probably done with all the 3D models. I think they're just kind of implementing code at this point, That's what I think they're doing. Implementing code, cleaning up aspects of the games, adding in things that they could fit, whatnot. And then eventually, probably next year, that's going to be when they're polishing it and doing all the translations. And by the time the second half of the year in 2019 rolls around, the games will be just fully finished, translations done, all that stuff.
They have so much 3D modeling to do. Oh my god.
Well, they could pull a Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, and just give us like the Pokemon Go models again.
Well, they were a bit I don't know, polished, but the base of the Pokemon Go models were used. I think it was the same company who did it, right?
Yeah, because it's Creature Inc. They do all the 3D stuff.
Because the models are extremely similar.
No, they are the same models. It's just like because like Pokemon Go is on a mobile phone.
Oh, so
And
they, like,
Switch
up the
and, like-
resolution and everything.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
They're-
There's minor changes. Like I saw earlier today. I don't know if you guys saw it with like Seadra. And he has like the what do you call it? Like on his stomach, there's different linings, and then he has different like horns on his head, kind of thing. So but the base looks very similar. The base looks almost identical, but there's just minor kind of aesthetic changes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The thing about Let's Go is they said it's going to be 1080p 60 FPS. Do you think it's going to be like that for Gen 8?
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, Let's Go is confirmed to be 1080 60.
Dang, I thought it was 30.
Yeah, I thought it was 30. I heard 30. I don't know.
Just looked 30 to me.
I would hope 60. Yeah.
I
That's
mean,
awesome.
yeah, because I mean, I don't really see like so much happening on screen that it would have to be 30.
I guess we'd have to
Let me see if I can find the source though.
Can I say one thing real quick,
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
which I'm curious about? And it's a little bit of a response to Alcaz or like a question I want to ask. Like, have you guys just noticed one thing? And this is what pisses me off the most about Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, and when people defend those games to like the end of the world, and that is, how can you be happy with these games when we really haven't gotten anything, as far as I can see, that is a new feature? No, actually, no. That's not even another feature as well. I just thought of something. I was trying to like disprove my own point, but no, it doesn't work that way. Because I was thinking like, oh, maybe the Pokemon the Overworld is like a unique new ID, but it isn't, because literally there is nothing new in these games. It's just missing features and just taking stuff from Pokemon Go, and that to me isn't a new feature. Because just, oh yeah, cool, Pokemon the Overworld. Well, Pokemon Go did it. You don't battle Pokemon, you catch them. Cool, you removed the feature and you gave us a feature that's from Pokemon Go. Okay. What's new? Like, that's for me where the biggest issue is with the Let's Go games. What is the purpose of these games for someone who isn't like 12? Like, in all honesty, because
Nostalgia.
that's what I hate about it. Because, okay, I love Kanto, but I'm so tired of it. Like, I swear to God, just like I'm so tired of that. Actually, wait, Chibi Blaziken though, dress up your partner. Well, to me, that doesn't seem like the best sort of feature, and it's something that kind of already sort of exists. Like you kind of had like the Pikachus with the hats and stuff for a while now. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of been a thing. And the Pikachus with the outfits, that's become more of a thing. And I guess that's a new feature, but it's something that kind of already exists in a similar but still different form in previous Pokemon games. But I don't know, man. For me personally, I just feel like we're getting a Kanto that's just less. It just feels like less, in all honesty. And that's for me where it's disappointing. Because if this was like a full-on remake that was just like, Yellow, a full-on remake, but with like perhaps some new features, I would have been on board. I would have been so on board for that. And hey, if you included every single Pokemon and not just the 151, I would have been on board. But you're giving me a remake that just has less things in it. That's just the problem for me. It just feels like it just got less things.
I wish it at least was as hard as the original. It looks like it's going to be easier.
Yeah, and that's another thing. It's like, yeah,
I played the
difficulty.
original game. It's actually pretty difficult at the time. So,
I don't know.
I'm liking it.
Hopefully there's a good post game, but I'm not keeping my hopes up.
Yeah,
The way
Yellow
I
didn't even have the best post game.
Oh, they probably won't even have any post game that's like.
I think that in the post game they'll probably be like Mewtwo, Zapdos, Moltres, Articuno, and Battling Professor Oak, and like something else.
Well, the thing is, you catch Articuno in like what's those two islands?
Seafoam.
Like you can catch it.
Oh, the
yeah, thank you.
Seafoam,
Yeah, you catch Articuno there. Moltres, I'm not sure which game it was. That was Sevi Islands, right? Moltres, or
Oh,
am
and
I wrong?
Fire Red Leaf
That'd be
Green.
Island.
Fire Red
Yellow
Leaf Green,
is
yeah.
Victory Road.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Victory Road.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, because I remember just like the last time I caught Moltres, it was on Sevi Island. So I was like, wait, am I getting this wrong or what's up? And then you got what's that thing called again? Yeah, that's where you get Zapdos. So those aren't really post game. I feel like those are kind of things you can get as soon as you get kind of surf.
Yeah.
So to say, like the moment,
So we're not gonna have HM for these.
so yeah, like once you get to what's that place called again? Freaking Fuchsia City, right? Once you get there, just go down that route, like route what, like 23, 22, or whatever. Go down that route, go to Seafoam Island, get an Articuno. It isn't post game; it's main game. Go back all the way.
Anyway.
But I'm just saying, like, but then go all the way back up, through Lavender Town or whatever, all the way back, and go up to the power plant, get Zapdos. It doesn't seem. I don't know. It's just to me, it just doesn't seem, in all honesty, like there is gonna be any post game whatsoever in these games.
I'm pretty certain that there's
beyond
not
Mewtwo.
Post game because like they're trying to casualize it, and they think the casuals don't care about post game, and they made that clear with our ads. I don't know. Here, like, I actually pulled up the interview, and they basically said they didn't have like there wasn't a specific person that decided. They just said we didn't put the Battle Frontier in ORAS because let's see, only a very small part of the players would have fully appreciated and made use of the feature. Nowadays, players get bored and frustrated more easily, and they aren't interested in things that are so demanding and challenging.
What?
Yeah, I remember that. They were specifically referencing.
And I think that's going to be their mindset.
Lower
moving forward
attention
for post
span.
games. Yeah, I think that's going to be their mindset moving forward
no,
too.
that is.
We haven't gotten an amazing post game since Black and White.
I mean, Ultra Sun and Moons I liked. Rainbow Rocket.
Yeah, but that was like an episode that lasted a couple hours. And
Oh yeah, it was like a
Yeah,
3-hour
it was-
thing. And
it was
it wasn't
almost
like a
like,
battle facility and like the legendary Pokemon to find and discover. It was just a wormhole thing.
Yeah, it was almost an equivalent to like the Delta episode. There's just this kind of there's an episode that happened.
Dude, I
couple
liked
hours and
Black and White. Remember, it just unlocked that second half of the region that you could explore.
Yes, that was the last good post game. Black and White too.
Yeah, and then I think in Platinum you had like Stark Mountain and all of that.
But lest we not forget. Lest we not forget, lads, the best post game of all, Heart Gold, Soul Silver. You literally get a full fucking region. Just saying. Oh yeah, by the way, and that region is, by the way, post game, and that post game is probably going to be better as just post game than the whole game of Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. Snap. Just saying.
Oh, and the Safari Zone in Heart Gold, Soul Silver. That was really cool.
Oh yeah, by the way, bye
They put
to
so
Safari
much
Zone.
love into those games.
Oh my god! I just realized another feature that's gone. There's no more Safari Zone.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Yeah.
The Go Park.
Oh
We're back
god!
to the Cow Park.
Go Park.
It's like so dumb. Like it just feels like every time I think about the Let's Go games and I'm trying to think positively about them, I just realize things that just are dumb about them.
Yeah, here's how I kind of rationalize it or try to think positive about it. Is that a lot of people were saying, okay, hopefully Game Freak waits until 2019 to release Gen 8 so that they can spend enough time on it, blah, blah, blah. So if you were to say that's the case, you're waiting a significant amount of time until the next game comes out. In the meantime, here's this casual game. It can be a little fun experience. It's almost like a little bonus before then. And then everyone's still getting what they want. Hopefully. It all depends on how the Gen 8 game goes. That's what it all contingents on that.
See,
But for
that's
me,
what.
Let's Go
that's what
Pikachu and Eevee is just a game to play for 1 week and then Smash comes out. That's honestly what it is for me.
That is depressing. Depressing, but true.
Yeah,
No, but
I'm just getting it
That's
so I won't
just
be
gonna be-
bored until Smash.
yeah. Gen 8's gonna be the game that we really judge and like really see
yeah.
what.
Yeah,
Pokemon's
Gen 8's gonna be, I
going
think, the
forward.
game I'm most hyped for next year. This year, it has to be Smash. There's no other game that I actually like care that much about.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Can't wait to play
So
Pikachu.
long as this doesn't detract from Gen 8 in any way, I think it's a bonus. It's a little tiny bonus game,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it.
Well,
And some
can I
quick
just say
spots
one
for
thing?
them.
It's
I
a
hope we see
bonus
that.
game that's
Like I hope we see it in like January.
okay. Here's the thing, though. Why I don't like it as okay. So literally, there's 3 points that like kind of make this game to me an issue. One, that it could affect future Pokemon games if the sales are really good. 2, you are giving us less features. And 3, you're charging more for this game than previous Pokemon games that had way more stuff in them.
Well, that's
Like,
just 'cause
that's
they're
what the
console
problem-
games.
I mean, yeah, but here's the thing, though. I'm gonna be honest. That's just a bullshit reason just to charge more. There is like no difference between the costs of making the 3DS games they were making compared to these games. Actually, the Let's Go games were probably cheaper to make because all they had to do with the Let's Go games was just reuse the assets from Pokemon fucking Go. And on top of that, they only took 2 years to make compared to like the usual 3 to 4 year cycle for a main series game. So these games were cheaper to make, guaranteed, bet you, because one, we don't have 800 Pokemon in it, we have 151, right? That's a small amount. And that all the models being used are well, I mean, yeah, because the new one, right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, the Alolan forms or whatever. But, like, again, those are also just reused models from Pokemon Go again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the thing with me for these games. It's like, you're charging more for it. And people keep saying, oh, but it's because it's a console game. Well, a 3DS Pokemon game was also a console game. Doesn't matter what console it is. It's still a console fucking game. I mean, in the past, right, but when there was a jump between the DS and the 3DS, that's where I would have expected to see the price jump, because I would have been like, okay, this is a time where I feel like it's okay. Because, okay, we jumped from 2D graphics to 3D graphics.
I mean, it
because
did go
obviously
up. It just was by like $5.
Yeah, but that's a small amount. Now you're jumping like, from like what, $45 to 60.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like the thing with Pokemon is that you usually do buy both versions. Hence why it was so affordable to buy both versions, because you bought them for like, well, I tend to. I tend to.
One.
Like, okay, so I've got Heart Gold and Soul Silver. I've got Black and White. I've got Diamond, and I've got Platinum. I usually I didn't buy like Pearl because I think I just couldn't afford it at the time. But like I tend to buy both versions, and most people do because you want to make sure you get all the Pokemon, right? In the past, I would be okay with like $90. Like $90 is fine for me. But now you're just adding another $30 or so onto that, which is essentially like the cost of one of the older Pokemon games as a whole game, like extra you're paying essentially. And that's where for me it's like, okay, I mean, but what makes these games more worth it for that extra $30? That's where I have an issue. Like people will be like, oh well, $60, or you can play $60 for COD, but you can't play for Pokemon. Well, again, understand me. I was paying less before, but I got more in return. Now I'm paying more, but I'm getting less in return. That's where my issue comes in. That's why I complain about the price. Even though, hey, I'm still going to buy them because I'm a Pokemon fan and I also run a Pokemon channel, so I've got to play the games to actually have the right to eventually give a full-on opinion on the games and be like, okay, these games were either amazing or they were literal shit. But like, if I was just a casual fan, I wouldn't like, and I kept up with the series, I really wouldn't spend money on these games, in all honesty. Like, I just wouldn't, because it doesn't seem worth it, in all honesty, because they don't seem to offer enough for the price they're asking for.
Mm-hmm. I guess one of their main concerns from like a marketing perspective would be that two people can now play the same game. So two people who might have in other generations or in a new generation that came out might have each bought their own copy. Now they can play co-op on one. So I don't know, that might be one factor that they might have considered in raising the price a little bit. But yeah,
well, I think it's just one of those things where like they just thought like, okay, we're going to the Switch so we can have an excuse to make it more expensive, because I think that's all it is. Oh, man, I don't know.
It also serves as like a transition for Gen 8 too, right? Because now they can use whatever they learn, and some of like the modeling they might have had to do it for. They could use it as kind of like a practice or a baseline upon which they can then build Gen 8. But
well, yeah. The thing though is they've already kind of established the modeling. Like Creatures Inc. has dedicated modelers who do stuff. I mean, they made all the models in Pokken, okay? Like, and you've seen Pokken. Pokken looks good. Like, It's undeniable. Pokken looks fresh as F. Like, that shit looked good. And they can achieve that. I mean, I wouldn't even like imagine how hard it would be to achieve like that level of graphics, but for every single Pokemon, I assume it would be very hard to do. But like the graphics we kind of have at the moment, like on the Sun and Moon games, are equally as good, I would say, as to the ones of the Pokemon Go models. Like, I don't see a major difference, in all honesty, between the Sun and Moon models versus the Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee models. The only difference is, okay, cool, the Pokemon Sun and Moon models were lower resolution because of the screen you're playing on. If you actually play, and I've said this so many times, like if you actually play the Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon games on Citra on higher resolution, that shit looks amazing. Like the games look great. In my opinion, in some areas, they look better than the Let's Go games. even though the Let's Go games are supposed to be like, you know, played in higher resolution.
Mm-hmm. The one thing I'm really happy about is that they got rid of that 3DS kind of washed out look. That was the worst. All the colors were kind of washed out.
The colors weren't vibrant.
Yeah, but that's also because of the actual 3DS itself, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because it just couldn't, I guess, handle too much of that shit, while the Switch is just stronger in general.
Mm-hmm.
So he was talking about in the interview, Masuda said, if you catch all of the Pokemon, something cool might happen. You have any idea what that could be?
Well, wasn't maybe Professor Oak? Because he's like, oh wow, now that we caught all of them, that'll be...
That would be cool, though. I mean, like to battle Professor
Yeah.
Oak.
Yeah.
What I'm almost, I don't know. What one thing that
Why don't
could
you just
possibly
be like
happen?
an item he gives you or something?
Yeah, he could also send you to like, because you remember how he said that Alolan forms won't be actually like catchable in the wild. Maybe he could send you, I don't know, to like an island in Alola, and you could just go for the Alolan Pokemon. Could be associated with his cousin Samson Oak, something like that.
I think though he specifically said they won't be catchable in the game. They will only be transferable, because he specifically said like you can't catch them in the game, but you will be able to send them from Pokemon Go. And then he was asked, but will there be any other way to get them without Pokemon Go? He was like, oh, there is another way to receive them that I think the fans know about. And then ha ha ha. So to me that sounded like okay. To me that sounded like okay, great. We're gonna have to fucking go to a GameStop. That's literally what that sounded like to me. Like cool, great. I gotta go get a fucking Cubone. Oh no, sorry, a Marowak. A little Marowak at a freaking GameStop, just standing there awkwardly, like, "Hello, sir. Can I get a Marowak, please?" I don't know. I ain't feeling it, man.
Someone in the chat said, "I feel like you'll either get the 152nd Pokemon, fight Professor Oak, or just get the diploma again."
I think it's the 152nd Pokemon. It has to be.
Like the only but wouldn't that force you to buy the Pokeball Plus then?
Yeah.
Why would it?
Because you need more Pokemon.
Are you fucking kidding? Wait, no. But isn't? Oh no.
They won't do that. I'm just saying, like.
No, they could do that because it's fucking Game Freak, and I wouldn't be surprised if they pulled some shit like that.
I think a lot of people.
Wait. Like if they included Mew in that catching all the Pokemon.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what I was gonna say. Is like, I don't think Mew counts in the Pokedex for completion.
Yeah, because it didn't in Red and Yellow.
Exactly, it didn't in previous games.
Yeah, true.
So I would assume it wouldn't this, because oh man, you got me right for a second there. Because God, they would. I mean,
dilemma right there. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have fucking destroyed them. I would have shat all over Game Freak if they did that. Because like, oh yeah, great. The only way for me to get this brand new Pokemon, which I mean, hey, it's like cool that when people come up, whatever, people can come up with excuses for like having to pay for Mew, whatever. But you're really gonna block a brand new Pokemon for me by forcing me, like, you know, to have to go and buy this bloody Pokeball for like $45? I don't think so. I don't know. God damn.
Oh, that's one thing. Going back to what we were talking about like remasters and all that. XD Gale of Darkness. That's what I want. Oh my god.
Please. Oh my god.
They probably never want to like remaster
I
that
missed
stuff.
that. I wish we could at least get like a new one too.
Yeah, I'd be fine with either.
That series was so underrated.
It was. Oh my god. So good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
All right, let's see here. Some of the other questions.
It would be a nice little getaway from Pokemon too, since the main series is whack.
Well, I mean, that's what I guess they're trying to make Let's Go as.
I mean, like a hardcore getaway.
Yeah. Someone said, any idea what you think Nintendo's next system could be? I mean, I don't know why people are thinking after the Switch, but I don't know.
Well, remember that?
Yeah,
one
they
time
said something,
when
right?
Said they were considering 3DS successor, and then Pixel Par said that there's exists.
Oh yeah, the 3DS successor.
Oh yeah, it's called. Yeah. I think I've seen a leak of it. It's called. I think it's. As I remember, I'm not sure if the leak is real though, because I haven't yet to cover it. But I think it's called like Nintendo Mobi. Is what? Yeah, because it's supposed to be like no, but yeah, but I think I'm not sure if it was an L at the end, like it was supposed to be mobile, but I guess what it's referring to is like mobile, so Nintendo Mobile, like Mobi, because they specifically talked about how they want to kind of go down that path of like making it like more mobile gameplay, similar to how you play on your phone, but like an actual console. So I'm not sure if that leak is real, but the guy who leaked it did speak like, or did use like proper Japanese when he leaked it. So I mean, I don't know. He also showed,
Oh my
showed a
God.
logo for it.
Yo,
So-
Project Moby Dick, the classic book about a beluga whale, Project Beluga. Confirmed.
Oh my God.
Someone else is saying, when do you predict the next Nintendo Direct will be? I think September. What about you guys?
No clue.
Yeah, maybe August too. I don't know. I could have it in, like, not this month though.
I feel like it'll be early September, like last year.
'Cause I just saw like I saw some movement timeline in August. But I don't know. Those are like almost never.
Someone was
But
asking-
I would like September. I think that's a good time.
Yeah, because that's when we had the one last year where they talked about Ultra Sun and Moon and Doom and Wolfenstein and all that stuff.
Yeah, and it's a good time, transitional time from summer holiday.
And that online service is also coming in September.
Yeah.
So they could definitely just have a direct and then talk about the stuff in there.
Oh God, is that the paid one?
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Yeah, it would be nice to have a direct with like announcing the full autumn lineup, like announcing first party remasters and remakes and whatever, and Smash Bros at the end. I'd be satisfied. Oh, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, someone
And
else.
Wait. Can I just roast Emerald Star real quick, please?
All right.
Okay, please let me roast this boy because he's pulling a fucking Relisify in the chat right now. Emerald Star, the dude literally confirmed fucking Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee like months ahead of time because he hinted at them. The dude predicted, or not predicted, he actually leaked when real like Nintendo Directs were gonna happen on point. And he did also very sketchily and like really like hinty his way. So my man, drop the act. You're just pulling some Relisify shit, calling him fake because Relisify just wanted to be right in the situation because he just didn't like him, and so he fucked up when Pixelpop was right, and so decided to be like just trying to like disapprove of him in any way possible, even though it is impossible because the dude was straight up correct. No, but straight up, yeah, he's pulling a Relisify. Calling him fake is stupid. The man literally fucking like leaked and hinted the games months ahead of time. Like months ahead of time. He done it. And you're coming in here saying he's fake. Get the fuck out. I'm sorry. I know it's your stream. I'm probably going to fuck up your ad revenue. I'm sorry. But like, goddamn, I
It's
can't.
been demonetized like hours ago.
Oh, well, yeah, fair enough then. No, but
Oh, boy.
straight up though, that shit, it's just like, nah, man. Nah. Like, the dude literally
Yeah, he's gotten way too many things
predicted-
correct.
like, it's impossible to say that the man is a fake when he's literally gotten things right straight up so many fucking times already. The guy literally was like, wait, yeah, he was the one who leaked the image, wasn't he? Yeah, he was. Yeah,
What image?
Pixelpart.
Yeah,
Pixel-
I was
the Pixelpart.
confused about that.
Pixelpart was the
'cause I
one
heard-
to. Wait.
Yeah.
Yes, he was, because Pixelpart was the one who leaked the image of Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, where you ride on a Lapras. He was the one to do that.
So he
So-
was the
Well,
first
he,
one who
he
ever
didn't
posted it?
he didn't leak it per se. He's the one who got
No,
sent it and then he like put it out
Yeah,
on
and
Twitter.
then he put it out there because he has
Yeah, from his contact or whatever.
So just a side info here. I know some people that I've talked to that know him that like because I've also talked to Pixelpart, but just some inside information real quick. The dude knows more than you guys. Exclusive. The dude knows more than you guys could ever assume. Unless you talk to him and talk to some of the people around him, the man knows like a fuck ton of shit. It's ridiculous how much
Emily
info he
Rogers
has.
2.0.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the dude knew about it. He fucking knew. No, he just no. What are you fucking Emerald Star? Don't make up shit. He drew the fucking things himself. There were no leaks before the stuff he put out. There were none. Don't make up shit. Like you're just pulling again a Relisify, making shit up to seem legitimate, my man. Find me some proof that there was a 4chan leak. Also, by the way, 4chan isn't four. Like, don't spell it out. You put in a 4. You know, the fucking digit, and then chan, my man. Not 4chan.
Oh.
Listing him for everything.
I'm sorry, but like, I swear to God, this dude probably like fucking cherishes and like fucking prays to Relisify's fucking picture on his wall every day. I'm sorry, like every time I see people like attack Pixelpart, it pisses me off because the guy is just like, I've talked to him, he's genuine as fuck, and the dude has information. He didn't get this. Like,
That image was unreal. Like,
Yeah.
absolutely.
He posted that
came
image of the
so
Pokeball
early.
like hitting the TV.
Yeah.
Remember that?
yeah,
Yeah.
And then he
Yeah, oh yeah, not just that, but also he put that image. He had the image of like red with Pikachu, and then he had like blue
and Eevee.
with the Eevee,
Yep.
right? And then of course he also had Let's Go in one of the images of like the Butterfree and the Bugcatcher walking away,
And it
like
said
Let's Go,
in there. Yeah.
Let's Go exclamation mark, and then like like the dude knew ahead of time.
And it's not well. The thing is too. It's not like he just had drawn that image and it happened later on. He was like, I've included in some of my tweets in the past the hints for it, and then once it was released, he then pointed to those tweets. So it wasn't like he just accidentally drew those things and then searched for it later and went, "Oh, this matches here." He literally stated.
Also,
it would have been
remember when
impossible to guess it.
remember when he like revealed that the code name was Beluga, and we were all like, "This is stupid. There's no way it was actually going to be called that." They confirmed that it was
Nintendo
actually
movie.
called Beluga. Yeah.
The man,
Like they actually confirmed that it was Beluga, and I mean, like even at that point, I was like blown away. I was like, really? It's actually called Beluga? Wow.
Yeah.
no,
I don't
but the
understand why
man's right. I can't stand this shit. I'm sorry.
I
One
just
thing
don't
that I
understand why some people are so insistent on like saying this leaker is not credible at all. They never, even if they got something right, that was just a coincidence. Like, it's weird. Just admit it, they were right. It's way more logical to assume they're right than like say they
There's no leaker that's going to be
made it
100%
up
right.
and, yeah,
But like, there's leakers that
definitely
get
worth
a majority
talking
of stuff
about.
right.
Yeah, it's worth talking about. So if Pixelpar or like Emily Rogers, come out and say something, like it's worth talking about.
Because they've been right in the past. Hence why I trust Emily Rogers, because she leaked the Switch back in the past. Nobody trusted her. People called her crazy, stupid. Guess what?
Yeah.
She was right. If things she got wrong, sure, she got something wrong, because probably she's also sent information by inside people. Because that's what leaking is. It's not like that you're sitting in like. Is it okay? Here's the thing, right? I assume Emerald Star. Yeah, because I think what Emerald Star and a lot of people, when they think of like leaks coming from like people that aren't like some Japanese fucking weirdo or some shit, they assume that like, oh, these people sit in Nintendo, and I don't think they sit in Nintendo. I think it's fake. I think they assume that like just because it's being leaked by these people, it's being put out into the public rather by these people, that they're fake because there's no way they work for Nintendo or some shit. No, these people are sent information by inside people. Sometimes it could be just somebody who works on one of the project. Maybe it could be somebody who doesn't even work on the actual project, but it's one of those things that just kind of passes by them. Because sometimes when you need to do like, for example, media stuff, right? Like they need to like send like screenshots or gameplay to like a company to make a trailer, right? Then somebody over at that studio that's doing the trailer or whatever could be like, oh shit, this looks interesting, gets a quick snap out of it, you know what I mean? And gets a quick picture and just puts it like, gives it to someone they know. Or it could be like a dedicated leaker over at like a specific part of like Game Freak, Nintendo, whatever, who gets that info and then just kind of spreads it out, but also includes some fake stuff to kind of like, not be able to be traced. Because, that's what happens sometimes. Like, they include some fake info with some real info. But, like, I feel like this guy assumes that, oh, this guy, there's no way he works for Nintendo. This is fake. Like, no, fuck this dude. He's lying. But, like, no. I trust Pixelpar because the man was right. There's no fucking denying that. There's no beating around the bush. But let's fucking suck a dick for all I care. He was wrong. And when he was wrong, he pussied the fuck out because he didn't know what to say. Oh, no, he was wrong. No, blah, 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 blah. He just tries to find excuses when he knows he's wrong. And when
It
people...
was hilarious, too, because he made videos saying, like, oh, these Arrow and Zat and Endgame the Cube, like, all these people are so hoarding on Pixel.
Well, because the man is right. The man is fucking... Like, I'm talking about Pixelpar, not fucking Realistify. So I was always right, fucking wrong. But, like... No, he never said Emerald Star. He never said the evolution was real. See, this is where I find like it really funny, because he never said that. He specifically pointed out that it wasn't.
All right, the thing that people like still don't understand is every insider is not going to be 100% correct. Like,
that's also a thing.
They're gonna get either a majority of their stuff right, or they're gonna get everything wrong. And like Emily Rogers, like she's gotten stuff wrong. She said Mother 3 was gonna be announced at the Switch like presentation, and it never was. So everybody was saying, oh, she's a phony, she's false. Like everything that she said was a lie. But she got basically the Switch correct. She knew about it since it was an NX. She got the reveal for Pokemon correct. She said it was gonna be at the end of May. She knew it was gonna be some Go accessory. She knew the name for Smash Bros. Ultimate. She literally said Ultimate Smash game in her post. Like there's so much she knows that she's correct.
Yeah, and when she's right, it's like cricket.
Yeah.
And when she's wrong,
and then when she gets one thing wrong, everyone's like, oh,
are you guys
she's wrong.
Reporting on her? She's not credible. She got something wrong in like 2015. Like, come on.
And that's the issue where like the moment you get one thing wrong, everybody just shits on you. And the thing is, it could also be that these people know everything. Like, it's the thing, they could know everything, but you also got to realize one thing: things change at studios and at companies. Like, a project could be ongoing and it could be canceled, but it's not like you're gonna get the like. It's not gonna like the leakers or the people who give out this info are always gonna know that. Like because they're working on like a 24-hour basis, and like they get info and then they just kind of move on past that after they've gotten it. They're like, okay, cool, got the info, next thing, right? It's not like they just sit there like and just whatchamacallit, like, sorry, I just kind of read one of the comments there and it's kind of lost track, but like sometimes the things change. For example, you said the Mother 3 thing, right? Like it could be that was a planned thing, but then they decided to hold it off.
Totally.
When was that?
Or I'll do it.
Said that.
Like,
I
remember the
2015
January
and then
12th presentation for the Switch in 2017?
Oh, okay.
Like, at the very beginning of the year, they had a Switch presentation where they revealed, like, Mario Odyssey and that Zelda with the breath.
Oh, yeah. Interestingly enough, Mother 3 was referenced in Smash Bros. Ultimate, wasn't it?
Really?
Yeah, I was just reading something this morning. Like a stage or something like that.
It might have been.
Please, Emerald Star.
If she got a little tip.
Please, can I roast this man, please? Just, I'm sorry.
I would just ignore. He's just
One more time,
probably
please.
trying to be a troll.
One more time. Yeah, I know he's trying to piss me off, but just one more time, because this is just funny. Okay, it could be real. Doesn't seem to be Photoshop. He's quoting Pixelball here. Sounds like somebody's trying to keep his fake credibility. Now, here's the thing, right? The man didn't claim that it was real. He even fucking showed images. We on Twitter sat and sent images back and forth like, okay, can we check this image, see what the deal is? He never claimed it was real. The man, like, literally there are times where, again, he isn't a fucking god or some shit. He's just a person, dum-dum. He's just another person that sits and just gets this information sent to him. And he had real info, okay? Real info that he leaked, that we got to see, and it was confirmed real. Guess what? He was fucking real to begin with. He was right about so many things. He never even claimed that image of the little like fucking Eevee in the corner, that new Evolution plushie or whatever. He never claimed it was real. And how can you say that? Oh, he tries to keep his fake credibility by saying it doesn't seem to be photoshopped. Are you fucking stupid, my man? Like, I'm sorry, but that just sounds so dumb. Like, I swear to God, like, why is it a problem for you? This is just like where I don't get it. Like, why is it a problem for you that the man is right? Like, does it like make you feel like a less of a man because somebody else knows more than you? Or like, what is it? Like, I'm just really confused because like, where is the issue there? I just don't get it. Like, what's the problem for you that the man knows something? Is it just because like you don't have that info first, or that you feel like you're insignificant compared to him because he's getting attention because he is right? Is it that? I'm just really curious. I'm sorry. Either way, we're gonna drop this whole thing now and continue
we
on.
need to switch to a different topic. We need a different topic in here.
Let's talk about something else, shall we?
Let's see here. Do you think Kingdom Hearts 3 will be on Switch? Yeah, something far away from Pokemon, please.
Most likely not.
Yeah, I don't feel like it, unfortunately. I would buy it, but I don't think so. I think it's... I don't know. Do you think it's too graphically demanding?
I mean, I don't think it's that. I think it's just that they don't want to like take the time to port it over, because I assume that like the actual game was initially meant to only be for like, because the game's probably been in a long ass development now, and when they initially started it, they probably didn't even know about the Switch, and since they aren't a first party developer, or anything like that, they probably just didn't like have contact with Nintendo about it, and they were just kind of working on the game. And it's like hey, cool, we're about to release the game, and it's like, oh yeah, the Switch is a thing as well. And they're like, well,
we didn't get the dev kits, so
well, yeah, we didn't get the dev kits, we didn't know shit about it, and we've been developing the game for a long time for the PlayStation and Xbox consoles, so it's really not something we want to dwell with right now, because we're already delaying the game to get it out for those consoles to begin with, so taking even more time.
Tyler in the chat said Nomura said that they would consider it, but it would have to be later because they want to focus on PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah, like that's what I was trying to get
game
across.
That they announce like next year at E3 or something. Just like how every game on the Switch comes later, like Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Wait, which game were we talking about?
Kingdom Hearts 3 on Switch.
Okay, that's what I was saying. Yeah.
One sec, guys. I'm gonna be right back in a second.
Yeah, I think that Kingdom Hearts 3.
Like, I'm not sure why games take so long to get ported on Switch. I feel like it's probably just because they have to do stuff with the Joy-Con and then the touchscreen.
And it's just generally a bit weak.
Yeah.
Can you read the comment by Alcaz on your Discord real quick? Because he left one there that's kind of interesting. I know it's Pokemon again, but I kind of want like see what you
Yeah, I
guys feel
skipped it
about
because
that.
I thought we already talked about it, but it says, do you feel that the things that Masuda said in the controversial interview might affect the core game that's coming out in 2019? And he said that Masuda thinks that the classic catching mechanics may be too difficult for some players, so they simplified the process.
Yikes.
I think, but it might affect, like, because I think that this idea that I mentioned was really just for Let's Go, but it might, again, like Ruffles, Rowlet, and like all you guys have been saying, it might affect the games after Pokemon Gen 8, where Let's Go is a success, and like maybe they want to bring more mechanics from Let's Go to them, but we'll see.
I mean, I'll trust Masuda this time, but like, if he messes up on Gen 8, I think a lot of people are just gonna not trust him when he says like the next games are gonna be good.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Gen 8's kind of like the standard by which to judge Let's Go, right?
I'll wait to see what Gen 8 is first, and then I'll
like
let
Let's
Masuda
Go
know how I
aren't
feel.
answering our questions that we really have for the Pokemon series. I think that it's gonna be Gen 8 that answers.
Because here he's like, they're always like promising here in interviews. They're like, it won't be like Pokemon Let's Go. It's not going to be casual. It's not going to have the same models. They're giving us all these promises. So let's just see if they fulfill them. And then I'll give you my opinion.
But in my opinion, too, like this, it probably isn't like this for the general public. And like for most people, the game's still selling really well and everything. But to me, Gen 8 is really going to be like that time, like where we see the crossroads, I guess you could say. Like it's going to be, in my opinion, like the most important Pokemon game in a long time, because I want to see if they're actually
it's merging different audiences.
Yeah,
and it's like an actual main game on a console.
Yeah,
it's a home
big moment. And
like I can already imagine, like when they reveal it, they're definitely going to do like the trip down memory lane thing that they did for the 3DS, where they're like, we came here from like monochrome graphics on the Game Boy, and then we moved to sprites, and now we moved to 3D or like animated sprites, then 3D models, and here we are in HD. Like I know they're gonna do that because they always.
Ironically enough, they kind of did that for Let's Go as well. Do you guys remember that? Like went through like Pokemon Yellow and then through all the
Poketimes, yeah, Poketimes. Yep, I remember that. That's pretty cool. Why I don't know why they didn't do that like for the official trailer, like had that thing. There was kind of like a side thing.
Yeah.
Before we even knew about Let's Go. But no, but just I specifically I don't know why, but like reading this comment, it just makes me facepalm really, just hardcore. That Masuda thinks that the classic catching mechanic may be too difficult for some players, so they simplify the problem. What? Like, I mean, I don't know what it is about this, but I'm just looking at it, I'm just like, what?
Yeah, how is it hard? Like you're pressing two buttons to catch a Pokemon, and you put them in a status condition at low health. Like
I've always found it weird that almost in every single game they have some guy who teaches you how to catch Pokemon. It's like, what? It's not that hard. It really is not.
I just liked it in Fire Red and Leaf Green where they gave you that item, and they were like, it was like the Teachy TV or something, and they were like, just watch if you need to learn.
Cool. And when you could like see what you did the last time you played, that was really cool. I like that.
Oh yeah, like the journals that they had in Diamond.
Yeah, it's like in black and white, and
yeah, they like catch you up, like, oh yeah, you took down Cyrus here, and then that was pretty fun. I actually like that.
I'd love to see the Sevi Islands in this game. That would be interesting, but because it's a yellow remake, I doubt it. I highly doubt it.
No, see, and this, it's like I kind of expected. Battle Frontier, you know, with Oraz, and now with this, they're probably gonna get rid of the Sevi Islands. But both of those features were so good from Gen.
Oh man, I don't know.
Right. What do you think of Nintendo wanting to get 15 to 30 indie games a week on the Switch? I personally didn't even know they had a goal of getting that many, but I don't know.
That's true.
Okay.
That
seems high.
It's. I'm not. I'm not digging that.
It's gonna get oversaturated.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna be honest.
I don't really care though, because there's a search button. Like,
yeah, I'm. For me personally, like, I just read that, and it's just like, that's just a little bit too much. I feel like, because I mean, I don't know if it's just me, but whenever I'm on the eShop, I just keep like looking around, and I just can't find anything that really intrigues me a lot. Because like, I feel like I get more value out of like looking at the like PlayStation Store, because it just has more games, which of course it's an older console, it's obvious. But it's just like it also has so many more cheaper games to buy in general, and
I feel like they could do a better job at organizing.
Yeah, that's another thing, because I remember when I was trying to like look at like popular games and stuff.
Dude, the
I don't know
search is
why,
just
but it's
broken on the eShop. I'm telling you.
It really is. Yeah.
What was it? I think I was searching for Pokemon on there, but I couldn't
literally-
find Pokemon
Yeah,
Quest when it came
yeah.
out.
When the
I had the same
Splatoon 2
thing.
DLC came out, the Octo expansion, I literally searched Octo expansion in the search bar and it didn't come up.
Oh, not just that. Xenoblade. I was
Also,
trying to
where's
like.
the music. That's my least favorite part. Like, there's no catchy eShop music. Like, I missed that. The Wii U eShop music was amazing.
I mean, I hope at least with the release of like the online feature, like the paid one, I just hope we get some good like included games, because are they gonna do that?
Yeah.
Do we know? Yeah, because I really hope we get some, because I like PlayStation for that, because that's a really like, okay, I'm gonna tell you
And
in
Xbox
all honesty.
too has that.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you this right now. Xbox, in all honesty, even though I don't have an Xbox and I'm a PlayStation guy and like a more Nintendo PlayStation type guy, but like I will say in all honesty, Xbox is the best like bang for the buck like thing you can get, like straight up. Because if you get the Xbox One or whatever, you buy the $10 a month thing, or like a year. I'm not sure how much it is.
Oh yeah, you get so many
like
games.
yeah, the Xbox
the
Pass,
ga-
right?
the Games with Gold, I think it's called.
No. There's a different thing. There's like
They have like their own special like exclusive
yeah,
thing.
there's
Yeah,
this
the Gamer
exclusive
Pass.
thing. That thing, right? The Game Pass or whatever. You buy that for $10, and you get so many games. And I think you get to keep them as well. But there's so many games for such a cheap amount of
You get to
money.
keep them as long as you have the service, I think.
Which, I mean, hey, honestly, for $10 a month, or like whatever, like the yearly pay is for that, that's fucking, I mean, that's good. And like, seriously, think about it. That's actually really good, because you're getting a lot of games. Like I saw like Fallout 4 in there, like so many crazy games. And then I go on the freaking Switch, and I'm just seeing like freaking, what was it like? What's that? I see Doom, right? And I'm just like, okay, why would I pay like 500 Swedish kroner? I'm not sure if it's like this, like, what the translation to that is in like dollars.
$60 here.
Yeah, right. So for me, it's like 599 Swedish kroner, like essentially, yeah, like 60 to 55 dollars, right? I'm looking at that. I'm just like, okay, but I can literally get that for $10 plus like 50 to 60 other games on the Xbox.
Graphics.
It's like, why would I
On my
pay?
Switch, though. It's awesome. I love it. Like,
Well, I mean,
for the portability aspect, but yeah, like
that's the thing, right? Because I really wish there was more games, and I didn't have to pay fucking full price for a game that's like a year or two old, on the freaking Switch. Like Skyrim, you shouldn't be charging a lot for Skyrim on the fucking Switch. No offense, but the game is way too old to be more than like $10 fucking dollars. It's just like, I can buy it for like $5 on Steam if I want to. The only difference between buying it on Steam and on the Switch, cool, it's portable, great. That's the only real advantage. I mean, in all honesty, I can get like a Raspberry Pi, whatever that shit's called, and like make my own emulator and freaking run like Skyrim on a freaking emulator thing for less money than buying the game fully on the Switch. Like, sure, there are ways you can do that, but it's besides the point. I just feel like a lot of the games on the Switch that are like, third-party titles are just kind of expensive. The only one that I bought that I'm really satisfied with buying that was cheap was like FIFA. Like that to me, because they had like for $10, and I was just like, that's a good offer. Like that's a good offer for like a game that usually they always have it at a high price. So that's a good offer in my opinion. But overall, they charge a lot for it. The games there. I feel like
Nintendo said though that with their online, they're gonna have like NES games come out, and you're gonna be getting like discounts for future titles. So hopefully that's good. I mean, like we're just gonna have to wait and see what it's like.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is that even like if they had a vast expanse of like virtual console games, I'd be happy with that too.
But unfortunately, we can't
online
hope
as the successor for virtual console.
The thing though is this is Nintendo we're talking about, and they can never pull off in like online shit, like straight up. Nintendo never.
Eventually.
I mean,
They
the
ruined
thing
it the
is,
first
they
day as
just
soon as they said it involves the phone.
well.
I mean, like
that's the thing. It's like I don't trust Nintendo when it comes to online. They know how to make good. Like here's the thing, right? They make interesting consoles. They make really good games, but they fucking suck at connectivity and online stuff. They're just so bad at it. It's just like it's like the people who like handle that part of like that aspect. It's like, internet. I do not know what this is. It's like I feel like the people who work on that are like monkeys, while the rest, like the people who make the actual games, are just like, you know, good, this is very, very nice. You know what I mean? I don't know. Their online has always been really fucking trash. Every console they've had, like online has always been.
Smash Bros. Ultimate is good too. Smash Bros. Wii U and 3DS like had some lag, which was
I don't want any more dental floss internet.
Yeah,
it was so bad. Yeah, like
I know. Yeah, and it really in a game like Smash Bros. You can't have.
It would just freeze there, and then they would have like the little loading screen at the bottom.
Yeah, it would turn into a slideshow sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Smash. I remember Smash Brawl
Oh!
being particularly brutal.
Yeah, Brawl was unplayable. I didn't even bother when I was like, I was mad.
Wait. Yo, I forgot this existed. There's the PlayStation Now feature. I forgot about that. Thank you. I don't know who mentioned it in chat. I think it was Vince. Yeah. So did you guys know this? There is this feature on PlayStation called PlayStation Now where you can stream hundreds of games on demand. So basically, it's an online feature only, but you can basically play any game you want for like, I don't know, like I think it's like $20 a year or something. I'm actually not sure what the pricing is, but I think it's like it's not too expensive for what you get. But you can play like 650 plus PS4 games, PS3 games, and PS2 games.
Do you have to have
that they
like
have on this
PlayStation Plus thing? The online?
No. It's its own. It's a separate thing, right? It's like a separate thing. I'm not sure if it's still in, like if they're still doing it, because I'm trying to like press the the buy button here, but like it gives me an error and stuff. So I'm not sure if it's like they've taken it down, maybe, or maybe it's because like I'm in Sweden and it's like maybe it's one of those features that's like US only. I don't know. It could be something like that. But like this is a cool feature, right? You can 650 plus games for like give or take $20 a month or like a year. I'm not sure exactly what the thing is there, but that's a lot of games that you can play. Like that's
PS2 was legendary too. Oh my god.
Yeah, oh my god. Think of shit, dude. I'm just thinking like
2.
Oh, that okay. Let's not even get into that because that is my favorite game of all time.
Yeah, it is so good.
Man, that's the game I've played more than any other. Like too many hours on that shit.
Yeah, it's definitely up there for me. I used to have it on the PSP too. I don't know if you got that. That was fun.
Oh, you mean like the like that? What was it called? Like
PlayStation, like portable, the little.
Yeah, no, but I meant the game itself. Like what was it? Like Battlefront, like No, what? No, what was it called?
It's just Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Was it like just a normal like Battlefront game? Because I know there was like some like exclusive Battlefront game that was made for the PSP, but I can't remember what it was called.
I don't know. I know they ported it, and it had some like extra features here and there, but
I can't remember. I mean, it could be that was just literally Battlefront 2 that you're talking about. No, but I that's an amazing, like seriously, this is worth your money, right? $20 a month. I think that is worth it for 650 plus games. That is worth it. That's worth the money. That's $20 a month. I think it's worth it. And if you don't want to pay for it for 1 month, fuck it. Don't pay for it for 1 month. But
We're
think
not
about
sponsored.
it. Like, true. But like, think about it. Like, you essentially. But seriously, think about it though. You would be spending what you would spend on a single Pokemon Let's Go game. You could spend over 3 months and play 650 games, like, you know, in total worth of like, you know, value essentially. Like in that span, because in 3 months for $60 you can probably play a lot of different games through this feature, like straight up. Now there's of course the issue that like you need to have online to do this, so there could be an issue with that, but I don't think it would be like the biggest issue in the world, in all honesty, because I think most people are like, I don't know, I mean, this is good, hence why I have an issue with like Nintendo, because like, god damn, this shit is expensive.
Yeah, they have to get something like that going in order to compete. They have to.
Yeah, because I mean, sure, Nintendo had like, I feel like the honeymoon phase is now over. You know what I mean? Like for Nintendo, there is no like there is no longer that shock value of, oh my god, it's portable and you can play it on your TV. Holy shit! Like that whole like thing is gone now. You know what I mean, you can't use that anymore as a selling point. Like it just doesn't work. Marcus Sneller, no, he's not credible. I don't think so, because he's like, I think he's kind of one of those people who kind of reuses other people's information somewhat. Like as far as I can tell, he feels like as far as I've seen, I haven't heard much about him. like I've seen some of his stuff, but I'm not sure about his credibility. I'm unsure, so I wouldn't really want to give a full on opinion. As far as I've heard, he is incredible, but I don't know. I could be hella wrong.
Well, apparently,
no,
he
but seriously,
just said
though.
Animal Crossing is in development.
Really?
Well, I mean, that's what the person who posted the other one said. He said because he just posted that Animal Crossing is in development. I'm gonna see if he tweeted that.
Good,
Yeah, he
because
said,
I mean, you'd imagine it.
Bandai
He follows me on Twitter.
helping with it too. Yeah, he follows me too.
Yeah.
Yo, Arrow, pick up the next question because I think Feels Bad Bro wants to hear some more viewer questions.
All right, let's see here. Next question. Someone said something at the bottom. What are people's thoughts on where Let's Go might take place in terms of the timeline? Alternate timeline, same timeline as Red, Blue, and Yellow. We aren't playing as Red, so it makes me curious.
Yeah, they definitely said that the actual storyline is gonna be very closely related to Yellow. So I don't know. The different rival at one point where it differs. So
the original leak that came out,
like the main characters too, obviously.
The original leak that came out for Pokemon Let's Go, like the April Fool's one, said that Red and Blue are in some way incorporated into the game. So I feel like it's an alternate timeline.
Like Blue will probably be the champion.
Yeah. Or maybe it's like the new rival, like the Trace guy. Maybe he's just.
It's probably the new rival.
Yeah,
probably the new rival.
That's what I think. It's just not even going to be fun though because he's a friendly rival. He's going to be like, "Oh, buddy, you made it here. I somehow became the champion."
Yeah.
Though, did you notice in the actual trailers though, like he has this smirk?
Yeah,
like,
I feel like that's just them showing like emotion in the game.
Maybe he's like Blue's son.
I don't think that he's like there are no like relations there. Like,
yeah.
I've got to be honest. The Pokemon timeline is kind of fucked because like it's an inconsistent mess as it jumps back and forth all the time. I mean, if you're trying to make a genuine connection between all the games, it's like insanely impossible to do.
I think it's too late for that almost.
No, but I mean, you can kind of do it, but like.
You have to include like alternate dimensions and timelines, which is,
you have to do some
like Zelda, right?
Yeah, you have to do some fucking like back and forth jumping like fucking crazy. Like it is, boy.
Red and Blue, like as characters, like they would be fun to. It would be fun to see them in the post game.
Yeah, I suppose this game could technically take place right after Red, Blue, Yellow, couldn't it?
I mean, they said Red and Blue are in the game, but we don't know like to what extent.
Wait, did they say that?
Well, the original leak said
yeah,
that,
the
right?
leak, yeah.
Like the April Fool's one. Like it also said like there's gonna be an online hub or something like that.
Which I guess that
I think that
might be.
I think that
I think that's what they meant. And I think maybe when they said Red and Blue, could they just be referring to the main characters being that? Because the main character you play as, if you're male, does kind of just look like like he looks like a scuffed or a Walmart version of Red.
They mentioned there being like there are new protagonists, but at least I think they actually mentioned that there are new protagonists.
Okay.
But
can we all just agree though that the new male character just looks like a Walmart version of like Red, like hands up?
I feel like the female character looks like the protagonist from Black and White.
Really?
Oh yeah, is that Hilda?
Yeah, like if you played as the girl from Black and White, I feel like the character.
Yeah,
the
she looks.
Yeah,
I can see that.
Oh yeah, I'm so proud of that character from the protagonist from Fire Leaf Green, the female one, making it in Smash Bros. Love seeing that representation.
I feel like it would have been so dope for Smash Bros. If they just took the protagonist from every region or like every generation and switched it.
Yeah.
Like for the alts, you would have like, the protagonist from Diamond and Pearl, and then X and Y, and then.
And they would just use the same Kanto Pokemon.
Yeah, same Kanto Pokemon, but just different trainer.
Now that I think about it, I think if we were to place this game on the timeline somewhere, it would have to be after Gold and Silver because this new main character is now in Red's house. And we see that Red's mom is still in that house in second gen.
All right, I put up the leak on screen so you can see.
So Red moved out.
All right, so it says right here.
Yeah, so Red and his mom must have moved out at this point.
And then it says, Yellow remakes for the Switch, 2 versions, Pikachu and Eevee. Red and Blue play a role in the story. You and your rival are new trainers. They basically said that. And then they said, following
I think it has to be after Gold and Silver then.
So they're definitely in the game, apparently, because everything here has been right.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
And that would make sense because now at this point, Oak also presumably knows about Alolan forms too, which was a later development.
Pokemon.
They mentioned the story too. That implies that's the main game too, instead of like just battling them in this game. So How
Oh man, and the gyms have been updated, of course, right? They've got
Yeah.
stands now and they're renovated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think after gold and silver is where I'd place it.
HM still replaced with Pokéride from Alola. Really? Have we seen that though?
Yeah.
I
They already
mean,
confirmed that
we saw
HMs
the
are gone.
Lapras surfing.
They actually, I think,
Yeah.
explicitly said that
Yeah,
HMs are
but-
gone now and they're gonna.
Oh wait. I would assume. Oh yeah, right. So you use like a you use like a freaking Onyx to like Rock Smash or some shit.
Or like a
And,
Machamp
like,
or
I would
Strand or
assume.
something.
I
Yeah.
hope they don't butcher Victory. I hope it's the same, like, but you use your riding.
So Pokemon Go and then catching Pokemon works like in Go, rewards in game, and then Go for linking the two together. Well, we know that. So
Literally everything except for
Everything's been right except for the red and blue,
red and blue.
thing. And I
Yeah.
guess the online hub maybe.
well, I mean that could be right as well. We just don't know yet.
I feel like red and blue will be in, but it might be like post game or something.
Yeah, and then Tyler said
But when they
maybe we'll
mentioned
run
it
into Lily.
When they mentioned them playing a role in the story,
Wait, when he says hub, it doesn't necessarily have to mean that he's talking about a hub where you physically walk around. He could be talking about the interface hub that you have when you
Yeah,
like.
the lobby. Yeah, the lobby
Oh
system.
yeah,
or
like the
something.
menus.
Ah, wow. Okay, so yeah, he's right. God damn, man. Because I would have loved it if there was an actual like an interactable like hub you walk inside of.
Yeah, like an
That would have been
MMO
way
kind of
cooler.
thing.
Yeah,
I
but
know.
yeah, it's not gonna happen. I mean, god damn.
worlds are so underrated. Like they're so good.
Ooh.
They don't exist much anymore.
This looks download. Holy shit! By the way, the PS Now thing. By the way, the PlayStation Now thing. It's $100 a year, and you can play 650 plus games. I mean, that's pretty fucking good.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm scared to buy this.
That is pretty much the end of the Discord questions. I guess we can just get a few from the chat and then probably wrap up the stream. Let's see.
But wait, we forgot the communism or fascism question. Come
Yeah.
on.
All right, do you actually want to answer that one?
I really want to discuss this. Come on, man. Communism versus fascism.
Altruistic
We all
fascism.
okay. Oh boy.
I wouldn't
Okay.
want either of them.
No, man. We're going Marxism, my man. Go Marxism.
Oh, they're both terrible, dude. Oh my god, they're both such trash. I'm sorry.
Oh man.
No, we're not.
My master's degree.
But
in
wait,
politics-
isn't it kind of
politics
fun? Isn't it kind of funny though? Because you know the leak you just showed. That leak came short, like a week or so after Pixelpart posted one of his like first few images, right?
It was posted after that
That-
Lapras image, right?
Um,
Yeah, because the Lapras image
yeah,
usually came
yeah.
at the end
So,
of March.
so I remember this, right? It was Pixelpart first posted one of his like drawings, that like a few of his drawings, right? I think it was the red and blue, the red with like Pikachu and blue with like the Eevee. That came first, and then was like I think there was another image in between there. I can't remember which one. Then it was the Lapras image that came out, the leak of the Lapras image that came from Pixelpart, and then on April the 1st came that leak that we just looked at, which was when Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee were kind of confirmed. And that same person then also leaked the logo and also the names. Like after Pixelpart, by the way, first gave us a fuck ton of hints on Twitter the day before that leak came out then. So he gave us a bunch of hints, and then literally the next day, that person leaks the logo on 4chan. And then it was just like everything just kind of like came together because Pixelpart was like, okay, do you now understand what I meant by these by these hints? Can you see the hints now? And people are like, oh my god, it makes sense now.
Only now
So-
at the end do you understand.
Exactly. It all comes together. But like, I think that's how it all worked out. That's where that leak like came from. It was like an April 1st, but there were so many things from specifically Pixelpart before that. So yeah. But straight up though, communism, I'm all for that. I'm all for some communism, you know what I mean? A little bit of communism.
Oh my god.
some communism a day makes the pains go away. I don't know.
Makes the rich go away.
Oh,
God.
yes.
Feels
wink.
Bad Bro said, do you think that there will be 2 regions in Gen 8?
No.
I feel like it won't.
A new region and back to Kanto.
I literally don't know.
How
Oh, please
upset.
no.
And then they interview Masuda after, and he's like, well, because of how we already had the whole entire foundation for Kanto from Let's Go, we just copied and
Yeah.
pasted it into Gen 8.
One question. What about the possibility of, because I like what this guy just asked, because there is this like kind of talk currently that like the next region, and also we have like like Pokéraf of down in like Spain, right?
Are you gonna
He's
mention
been-
Carlos
them
in
hints.
Spain?
I'm gonna mention yeah, exactly, because like
Yeah.
we know the Masuda like kind of like when he kind of like is the one like producing the games, he tends to want to base it on places he's visited that he really likes. And before X and Y were made, he had visited France, Paris, etc. And then we got like a year or two later, we got like freaking X and Y, right? So like, okay, cool, that makes sense. Then he's been to Spain, and he said specifically that he loves Spain. And then I'm thinking, well, Kalos is based on France, and what's right below France? Well, you have Spain right there,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and we know,
And they have
and
a
we
train station too in like X and Y, don't they? That like goes
precisely,
somewhere.
precisely,
Yeah.
So
and
many
that's
unanswered
what I'm
questions
thinking.
in Gen 6.
And if you
still.
look at Let's Go as well, like they're kind of based around X and Y style. So maybe that might be to adapt it.
So that's where I'm thinking, like, will we maybe be able to actually, like, will we have like this brand new region?
Plus,
And
X and
then,
Y
like-
never got a third version. We never got to go
Yes.
to Kalos again with like, because there were a lot of questions that were left unanswered
Exactly.
with Kalos.
And they
And so
kind
it
of
would
tried
be
to
cool
answer
to
it
answer this
with Sun and
question.
Moon, like with the whole Zygarde stuff. They kind of like tried to incorporate it into.
They
Sun
didn't
and Moon.
even answer that. It was just
Yeah.
kind of like clumsily added in because they didn't have any like good way to implement it.
And with us being like on a console, we can actually fit multiple regions in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Alkaz in the chat is saying, show the screen cap where Pokéraf was talking to Masuda. Oh yeah, I have his leaked DMs here. I'm gonna put them on the stream, man. I will show you them.
I went for a good old swim.
A good old swim.
Spain
Oh,
sounds so good for a summer vacation. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'd love to go to Spain.
Yeah.
so warm, I swear to God.
It's really hot here too, so.
Dude, I'm
I
dying, man.
have like a huge fan that's blowing right next to me.
You're lucky, man. I'm like in a fucking gulag over here. Except it's so, like really
I
warm.
feel like if I turn on my fan, you wouldn't be able to hear me, and the stream would just hear the whole time.
Do you guys hear my fan? 'Cause it's so loud.
I hear it a little bit. I don't hear it that much though.
Yeah, I have like a pop filter and stuff.
Look, I put that DM up there, Pokéraf.
I wonder if is he still in chat?
No, I think he left. I don't know what time it is over there.
Gotta go swimming or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So he still does things.
Do you think that there's going to be Gen 4 references in Gen 8?
Yeah,
probably.
I mean, they always reference everything.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
reference like it's not even specifically Gen 4. They'll just reference like past games.
Yeah,
Like what was it? Ultra Sun and Moon, Kukui or whatever. I think it was in Sun and Moon too. He was talking about like he's like I went to Kanto, I became a strong trainer.
Battled Lance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then he was like that guy with the cape though at the Elite Four. He was so hard. And they always refer to stuff.
yes. Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely think there's gonna be some type of references. They love doing that.
Yeah. I hope we get Diamond and Pearl remakes after Jenny.
I feel like we will. I don't think they'll be the year after, but I think they'll be next.
Yeah.
Let's go Togepi and Meryl.
I wouldn't mind like a Let's Go Mudkip and whatever, like for Holland, but then you get the other map. They wouldn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I smell
Like a remake of Emerald. Like,
Yeah, the problem with that is that the Platinum remake would come out so long from now. And that would be
Yeah.
the first Gen 4 remake.
I wouldn't even mind like not on the maybe the Nintendo console like a remake. That could look so stunning in HD. Like some of the locations in Nova were so pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Like I saw this art of like Castelia City, and holy crap, it had like lens flares and oh my god, it was so good. And like the puddle was reflecting. Wow.
So someone was saying, like, I don't think this was mentioned in the chat, but people were talking about how, with all the Kanto references in Sun and Moon, they were kind of hinting at Pokemon Let's Go. Do you
Yeah.
do you actually think that?
Oh,
No.
I
I don't think so.
I feel like they just said Kanto because of it being Kanto.
No, it was I think they did it like in those games because it was a 20-year anniversary.
Mm-hmm. And like
Of,
your
like,
trainer move from
Pokemon.
Kanto and all that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it was really Pokemon Go that got them in that Kanto mood. the original
Yeah.
It did
Yeah.
so well, and everyone just loved the original.
Yeah,
1.1
because
again, and
they
were
started
"Let's bring that
developing
back."
this. Yeah, right when Gen 1, it was only Gen 1 that was out. They started developing this game.
Yeah, they literally started developing this game when Pokemon Go came out.
What would be
they-
interesting is if we see Lily, though. That would be...
That'd be amazing if
cool.
we saw Lily.
Maybe she could be how we get
in the Let's Go games or 2019?
In Let's Go.
Let's go. Because she
Oh,
goes to Kansas.
no way she'll be there.
That'd be cool.
No
I feel like the post
way.
game, and you could talk to her, and she'll be like, "Hey, this
Like,
here's the
I feel
little-
like they won't do it though because if people who come from Pokemon Go, they're gonna be like, "Who's Lily?" They have no clue.
Yeah, I don't
Yes,
think.
that
Yeah, I
too.
feel like these games aren't even gonna reference other. I don't.
no, like
I think
that's
it's
what
gonna
I
have
want.
Yellow dialogue.
I think they'll have references for like the players who are like who've been around for a while. It's just the
Maybe.
the Go players won't understand it.
Yeah. Just because, like, if it's a yellow remake, maybe all the NPCs will.
Just one thing though to Emerald. I
You're
think the
still
whole
roasting
like
this man.
I'm sorry, no, but I think he actually made an interesting point here. He made an interesting point because I remember like
I was disappointed. I thought you were going to talk about Pokemon Emerald because that's a Pokemon game, but instead you're saying, okay, never mind.
oh boy, no, but I'm just like I want to kind of bring this up because I remember before Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee were confirmed, like people were attacking the living shit out of me when I suggested that like the next games we're gonna get, aka Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, were gonna be a Kanto remake. People were like lampooning me for even
I remember
suggesting that because I just like said like it's most likely possible to happen, and people are like, no, it doesn't follow the pattern. It doesn't follow the pattern. I couldn't stand that shit. I'm just
Yeah.
like, what are you talking about? There is no pattern. There's this perceived pattern you think of, but they just kind of make these games whatever or they feel like.
Yeah, as
the
soon
only
as
reason-
as soon as Black and White got actual sequels, that was the whole everything. The formula
Yeah.
kind of broke down.
I mean, the thing is, the formula that you think of exists for maybe like 4 to 5 years, give or take. It exists, and then it kind of disappears. So it doesn't mean that it's an actually consistent formula. Because if you look at the releases, right, you had Red, Blue, and Red, Blue, and then Green was like, for Japan, and then you had Yellow, cool. You had Gold, Silver, and then you had Crystal, cool. So you had like another third game. Then you had Ruby, Sapphire, and then Emerald, cool. Now you kept up this pattern, but then something changed. Actually, let's intersect there because it wasn't Emerald. It was actually first Fire Red Leaf Green and then Emerald, released in the same year. So instantly there, your pattern, like when whoever makes up a pattern like that, that's where your pattern instantly gets ruined because you only had that pattern going since like it kept going for only like 2 generations, like Gen 1 and 2, and then it like that pattern broke, and then you think that pattern starts again with like Platinum, and Pearl, Diamond, Platinum, cool. Then you got Black and White, and you're like, okay, well now we're gonna get Gray. Hell no, boy, you got Black and White too. And then it's like, okay, your pattern got broken again. So was there a pattern to begin with? Like we have this perceived idea there is a pattern because we've seen it so many times, but in reality, it really isn't a thing.
And then XY comes out, no third game, and then they go back to third gen remakes.
Oh yeah, because people were assuming also because like they were doing remakes, right? They were doing like, so you had Ruby, Sapphire, then Emerald, then Fire Red Leaf Green remakes, and then Emerald. Then you had what's it called again? You had Diamond Pearl, then you had Soul Silver Heart Gold, right? Again, remakes, and then Platinum. And then people were assuming that okay, Black and White, and now we're gonna get another remake of like what Gen 3, I guess people were assuming. But no, they gave us sequels, and then they gave us a new gen, and then finally they gave us a remake of like Gen 3.
Yeah,
so
and then
like
no third version or sequel for X and Y.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, there is no pattern. So this idea that there's a pattern, hell no. And that idea of the pattern just got broken even harder by the announcement of Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, because that literally just tells you they don't have any patterns. They kind of just make games, and they kind of just really like it just kind of lined up in that way, right? Over time, that ended up being that way, but it isn't like that's like what they're aiming for. It just kind of happens.
Yeah.
So Gen 8 next year. But who the fuck knows if we're going to get like the Diamond and Pearl remakes anytime soon.
I just want to add something. Someone in the chat said people hated Ultra Sun and Moon because they were the same games, but Emerald and Platinum were the same. No, people hated Ultra Sun and Moon because they were 2 games, which made it seem like they were sequels, but they were actually just the same game.
Yep.
That's why.
I feel,
My first video I made about them, I treated them as sequels. Everyone thought they were sequels. Literally, if you look at everyone's live reaction to them, they were like, "We've got sequels," but like that just wasn't the case.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean I think everybody assumed that though.
If they just had
Like-
Eclipse and then that's what they put from Ultra Sun and Moon into that game for one game, I think people would have been much more satisfied.
Nope.
And, I mean, I don't think too many people
Also,
even
that's a cool
hated
game.
Ultra Sun in those games.
I
I mean, I understand. Okay, so I understand the hatred for Sun and Moon because those, in my opinion, were bad Pokemon games because there was so many issues with those games to begin with. But like Ultra Sun and Moon were kind of like remedying that, taking away the issues and like patching it up and kind of cleaning, just kind of like polishing up the game and making it into what it should have been. But like you mentioned, we assumed it was going to be a sequel based on the fact there was two of them because the last time we had two games released that were essentially the same as the previous ones was with Black and White.
Plus, they really teased it with the fusions, just like with Black and White 2.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
I think like they could have just done so much better. Like, can you imagine if like you started out on a different island or whatever? Like instead of Melee, it was like Pony or something. Your whole adventure route is different. Every character is like 5 years older or something like that.
Yeah, like they actually made some really interesting characters in these games, and they made it seem
There's
like
a lot of
there would be a
possibilities
sequel.
that they could have done, but they just
Yeah,
didn't.
like what was Lily's progress after she moved to Kanto, and like and same with her brother, and like even with the post game, there were questions that they left, which I've already mentioned many times. But they brought Annabelle in, and then she was like stuck in this world. Like I would like to have seen her build the Battle Frontier for the sequel. That would have been a good post game setup.
Also, when you're comparing, like, I mean, in all honesty, anybody who wants to buy like Gen 7 games, I think most people would recommend. I personally would, but I think most people would also recommend don't even bother buying Sun and Moon. Just buy Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon if you want to play those games because they're just kind of like the better experience. And you're not missing out on. You're really not missing out on anything. You're just kind of missing out on unnecessary cutscenes that shouldn't even be there to begin with, right?
I feel like though it does kind of change the story a little bit. Like I like the
Well,
actual,
it's such
story
it's such
better.
a minimalistic. Yeah, but then again, it's also better. So like, what's the point of playing a lesser version of that, right?
True, yeah.
So I feel like, and the thing though is when like I don't think people hate it again, like they mentioned. I don't think they hated the Ultra Sun and Moon games for like what they actually offered, but rather for how they presented themselves.
Yeah.
And but then again, when you also look at Platinum and Emerald, the reason why those games are loved is because they did introduce new stuff. They were, they were the same in base level, sure, but they also did have new stuff in them. For example, Emerald was the game to introduce, as far as I remember, unless I'm getting this wrong, was the one to introduce the Battle Frontier, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, it was the first Battle Frontier.
Yeah, exactly. So like, I mean, like those games.
Yeah, Crystal had like a
Tower.
Yeah. What do you call it? Like it's like a battle tower. It operated in a similar way, but it was like a primitive kind of form of it.
Yeah,
Didn't have
but
like a beautiful island with
Yeah.
dome.
Yeah.
Oh.
But that's the thing, right? Because like those games did introduce something new. I know Platinum changed parts of the story, like heavily, and like
in that distortion world, that was awesome.
Yeah.
like there were like all these games kind of like the whole purpose of the extra game, the third game, was to kind of like remedy issues with the previous games or the originals, and then also like add in new stuff that they want to kind of try out and see like if it works. That's also like often what they tend to do with those those games.
They focus on the post game too.
Yeah, like they have way more post game usually.
You had Team Rainbow Rocket for a few hours, but that was it.
Yeah, but you did all the ultra wormhole stuff,
you've
which
got
I
all
think
the
was kind of fun.
legendaries to catch.
Yeah, but that was some...
Yeah, but I mean, again, I feel like the post games in other Pokemon like third versions have usually always kind of been better than what we got in Ultra Sun and Moon. But I still feel like Ultra Sun and Moon,
From what I've
like,
seen, it seems like
we're good in some
Yellow.
way.
Yeah, it seems like Yellow and Crystal were like kind of like Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. If you look back, there wasn't a ton of like new content in them, but then Emerald, Platinum, and Black 2 and White 2. And I wish they would do that, but yeah.
So fucking warm. I'm dying. So bloody warm, my friends. Okay, any more questions?
I'm trying to see.
Someone asked, "Am I in time for Smash News?" Like,
No, you're
Sorry.
like an hour late.
yeah.
Oh wait, there was a question there about how do you think they will handle Black and White remakes since Black and White 2 exist? Well, I don't think that's an issue.
Yeah, I don't think they care.
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, in all honesty, I don't think that would be a problem whatsoever.
That's the distant future.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
like, what, after
yeah,
Gen 11 or
we don't
something?
know
Like,
what's.
yeah, let's get Diamond and Pearl first,
He's
and
gonna
then.
be like a senior citizen by then.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I'll still be playing
Without the
Pokemon.
interruption of like Let's Go, it would have been maybe 2023, 2024 now.
Yeah, I'm thinking like probably next Nintendo system, probably 2025.
I don't think it'll even be on the Switch.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be.
It's gonna be on the next system. Yeah.
But I do hope we get remix.
I think
It's a
it will.
really
Yeah,
good
eventually.
region, and the graphics I think would be really great on HD.
Mm-hmm.
Ni-chan.
But yeah, I'm just scrolling up. I don't think that there's any more questions. I think we could probably wrap up the stream. There's not much else.
Okay.
Let me know if you guys see any. I'll check the
They're all-
Discord too.
Mm.
Nope, none in the Discord
Saw some
either.
questions earlier.
Evan, no, Oshawott is not in Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. There are only Generation 1 Pokemon, my friend. And
Wait,
Springy the
did we
Italian, I
answer
agree.
the-
Too many Gen 1 remakes.
I think we answered. Someone said, "What is everyone's most utmost wish for the 2019 games?" Did we already answer that?
No, we didn't. I don't think
And
we
they
did.
said if you had one input into the game's
Oh,
development.
like your biggest hope?
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
like
you
our biggest wish, biggest hope.
Faster Pokemon.
oh yeah, Gen 7 was so slow.
Hmm.
Oh, let's see, something I would care about.
I would say make good posters. Make the legendary Pokemon events meaningful. I'd like a Battle Frontier. I'd all like post game.
Literally-
I can't emphasize enough. That's what I want. Like
I
feel
literally
like
did
the
a video
rest-
on this today.
I think for me, I would just say, like, make the game challenging. Like, make me get frustrated like I did when I faced Cynthia in Diamond and Pearl. Like, I want that type of feeling again.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's so warm, I swear to God. Can't take this heat anymore.
Do you expect to see an open world for Gen 8? Absolutely not.
Hell no.
Yeah.
So
I
unlikely.
want at least a mini open world, like something a little open, not like if we can't get a full one, like something like Mario Sunshine. I don't know if you guys played that, but it was like pretty open. You would run around jumping in
Yeah.
the plaza and like there's stuff,
Mhm.
but it wasn't like crazy where you would get like lost. But it was still comfortable and it like you had some exploration to do. I would at least.
That's what I really liked about Mario 64 is that while it was open world sections to it, that was really like it wasn't like Breath of the Wild crazy large.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it was sectioned so you could go into a new place and it's a smaller open world place. You can explore it, then get out, go to a new one. That was a pretty cool concept.
For sure.
But
yeah.
I don't think I see anything like that happening with
Yeah, I
Gen
don't
8.
even know how they incorporate it.
the games. If you look at like their linear direction, they generally, just because of the graphical and technological capabilities, they tend to get a little bit more open, but not open world
Mm-hmm.
by any means.
If you could play one upcoming game, announced or not today, which one would you go with?
Announced. It
Can
has
we
to be
play-
announced.
No,
Yeah.
it says announced or not. So I guess like technically you could
Oh.
say Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I would say Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
For sure.
And we can play the whole thing. Oh, it's tough.
A game that, I don't know.
I would almost say let's go just to see if they have any type of post game in it. I just want to figure out what's in the game.
I would say the 2019 Pokemon game probably.
Yeah, that.
I want to see what they're doing with the next house.
I would say Smash Bros, but I can wait till December.
And I've already played Smash Bros, so I can already.
Oh yeah, true.
Although it would be really cool to be able to unlock the characters that's going on.
Oh, like see ahead of time, like if there were any secret characters in the game.
Yeah. I think there's a good
There
amount.
was
Not
someone
like
asking
some
earlier,
Disney-
do you think that Nintendo could show off a newcomer in Smash at Evo?
a new Smash character?
Yeah, like a new character for Smash at
Oh,
Evo.
I hope
That's
so.
like a new game. Oh my god.
I think that's very possible. I wish they would, because I feel like they probably have 10-ish characters left, and like some of them are echoes though. So like I want like one announcement or something per month. We only have like 4 months left now, like a few weeks. So it wouldn't be crazy demanding to ask like one character August, one character September, one character October, one character November, and then
maybe like one secret character.
Yeah.
In the game. Would you like it if they added Pokemon Go catching mechanics to Gen 8? Absolutely not. That would create so much outlash.
I wouldn't mind if like with Gen 9 or something, if we had a mode where we could switch between normal Pokemon
honestly, that would have solved everything for Let's Go also, if they just had like classic mode and go mode, like a switch that you can change in settings.
But they really did have to like implement the whole thing into like the name and everything, and now that we have it, it would probably be easier to carry over like a game for an extra mode instead of a whole replacement.
Oh boy, well, time for me to peace out.
I think that's pretty much it.
Midnight.
I don't think there's any more other questions, so I guess we can just wrap it up here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for chatting here. It was a pretty good discussion. I mean, even though we didn't have a lot of stuff to talk about because there wasn't a lot of news that happened this month, there were still some good things that we were able to discuss. A lot about Let's Go, Masuda's interview, stuff like that. So thank you all so much.
Yeah, I think we did really well given what we had.
Oh, and Madara just gave a super chat. Thank you for the $2. So yeah, I guess we can just all sign off and plug in our YouTubes and Twitters. Obviously, for my channel, you can find me on this channel right here at Arrow, and go ahead and follow me on Twitter at Actual Arrow. And yeah, I guess you guys can just go.
All right, so bye, guys, and my find me on YouTube and Game the Cube, and you can find me on Twitter, same thing, and Game the
Cube. YouTube, Ruffled Rowlets. Please help me.
Oh boy, yeah, YouTube Soul Spectre and Twitter Soul Spectre. Definitely like to thank Arrow for having me, and it was nice to meet you and Arrow as well. Yeah, I really enjoyed the discussion.
No problem. All right, yeah, I definitely have all their links in the descriptions. Definitely go ahead and click on them, go subscribe to them, follow them on Twitter, all that good stuff. And yeah, we will see you guys in the next episode. Peace.
Bye.
Peace.